The 1950s, the golden age of baseball. The Yankees, the Giants, the Dodgers. The Subway Series seemed like an annual event. The landscape changed in 1957 as the Dodgers and Giants went west. 5 years later, the birth of the Mets brought National League Baseball back to New York. But a rivalry with the Yankees was still years away. In 1969, a group of young, talented Mets, known as the Amazins, took the city by storm, winning a world title. A rivalry was born. It took 38 years for the dream to come true, something many thought they'd never see. The Mets and Yankees in a Subway Series of their own. It was a 5-game battle. Every game was close, but like in the 50s, it was the Yankees celebrating a championship again. Today, a new generation will ride this train for the first time, eager to get the Mets back on track. Subway Series, next stop on the WB. Welcome to the Subway Series 2003. Been a soggy couple of days in the New York area, but it has not dampened the enthusiasm of New York sports fans. Live on the WB11, it's Mets baseball. Game 1 of the Subway Series. Tonight starting pitchers Andy Pettit for the Yankees and Steve Traxel for the Mets. Hello everybody, welcome to Shea Stadium and welcome to the Subway Series. You can talk all you like about how this series has lost some of its luster, but there is an electricity in this ballpark tonight you will not find in any other stadium in any other city. Before the game, some of the Mets getting acquainted with their old friends, Art Howe and Jason Chiappi. They were together in Oakland for many years, of course. Timo Perez saying hi to Alfonso Soriano. And Art Howe saying hi to Don Zimmer. We'll let you take a look at some of those new faces. Tony Clark, Cliff Floyd, Jason Phillips, Jose Reyes, Ty Wigington, Jay So, and Tom Glavine. They've all done the interleague thing before, but not like this. It's going to be different.
Guys been talking about it, how crazy it is, and you know what to expect, and how the fans going to react. You know, when we go to the Bronx and stuff like that. But you know, we're playing good baseball now, and hopefully we can keep our focus on that.
Subway Series, I think, is another entity, and I honestly, as a player, I haven't heard so many guys come up to me and talk to me about a particular situation, and really all they can say is just waiting to see. And I'm looking forward to it. Just hearing the excitement that everybody says goes on and the craziness that goes on that can only happen in New York is something that I'm really looking forward to.
All right, I'm joined now by the Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner. And Ralph is a longtime observer of New York baseball. I got to get your take on this. Has this series lost some of the luster?
Well, I think one answer is the fact that it's sold 3 games out already this year. The fans are all here. The excitement's here. I, for one, personally think it's always a great thing to have the Yankees and Mets play baseball. This goes back to when they played the Mayor's Trophy game in 1963, which the Mets won that year, and Casey Stengel was so happy.
Okay, coming up next, Tom Seaver and Dave O'Brien with more on the Subway Series. Stick around for more Mets baseball.
Tonight, the Subway Series 2003 begins here at Shea Stadium. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave O'Brien, along with my partner, Hall of Famer Tom Seaver. And in the coming-out party, Tom, for Jose Reyes, the phenom shortstop of the New York Mets, this is the biggest stop so far. It'll be the first time he will perform in front of the Shea Stadium faithful, and against the guy he's most often compared to, Alfonso Soriano.
And it's a good comparison, both of them from the Dominican Republic, and there's not much difference in the two of them between height and weight. One thing last year, Soriano hit 339 home runs, stole 41 bases. He really exploded on the scene. And as for Reyes, well, he is the same type of player. He's exciting. He has great speed. I don't think the Mets want him as a home run hitter. That's a grand slam, his first big league home run, and that was in Anaheim against the world champions. One thing about Soriano, the amazing statistic when you look at numbers, 23 walks, 157 strikeouts last year.
For this season, well, he shows off that power and speed. 18 homers, 19 stolen bases, Jose Reyes with 11 runs.
Had a great game out there in Anaheim. It'll be the left-hander Pettit here. You see against left-handers very difficult with that outstanding curveball, good changeup there, and a good fielding pitcher. The one interesting thing about him is that his earned run average this year almost 2 runs higher per game than it was last year. And Traxel, his last start in Anaheim, was simply short of marvelous. A one-hitter, a little flare to right field as he shut out the world champions.
The only base hit against Anaheim. Now the starting lineup brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. And for the Yankees, they lead off Alfonso Soriano. He will run 19 steals. So Wilson's arm is vital tonight. Derek Jeter has not hit since coming off the DL, but Giambi is tearing the cover off it. His batting average up about 48 points over the last month. Robin Ventura, the former Met, at third base, and up against the 5-4 Steve Traxel. Tom, a 4.79 ERA, and just spectacular last week in the one-hitter.
Well, you're exactly right. The word spectacular, and that was it. Certainly we in the booth had the pleasure of doing that game and were thinking no-hitter. And he said he had made some mechanical corrections from the time before. The outing they had to be before that was very poor, and boy, he got it down to a T in Anaheim, and he'll try to replicate it here tonight.
Well, this first pitch is in there for strike one, and the Subway Series 2003 is underway. Tom Seaver, Ralph Connor, Dave O'Brien in the booth, and Derek Jeter, the newly minted captain of the Yankees, on deck. Soriano has just completed a chilly homestand as he pops that one up along the right field line. Just 7 for his last 39. The count is 0-2.
Really amazing how well he does hit as far as batting average is concerned, because he strikes out so much as opposed to his few walks.
Traxel trying to dispose of Soriano quickly to start this one off, and that's down and in for ball. Jeter up next, and then Giambi. Of course, the Yankees, after a torrid 20-4 start, came thudding back to earth. They lost Steve Carsey, they lost Nick Johnson, Bernie Williams, and they played 8 games under 500, but with 38 games after that great start. They have won 7 of their last 9. The 1-2. Ball even on Soriano. Joe Torre, of course, has been feuding with the owner of the Yankees, George Steinbrenner. Seems to have lost a little bit of steam, that feud. Wrapped right there to the feet of Ty Wigginton. Across the diamond in time for the out. One away. Jeter coming up next.
I think, Dave, the answer is not really the feud. He just has said these things many, many times.
Take a look at the Budweiser defense here behind Traxel. Floyd, Sinjo, and Burnett's in the outfield. Wigginton, Reyes on the left side. Alomar and Jason Phillips on the right side of the infield. Vance Wilson doing the catching again. Fine defensive catcher behind the plate for Steve Traxel.
And Derek Jeter hitting .247 with 3 home runs. In his career, he's 2 out of 11 off of Traxel. Goes after the first pitch, hits that one toward the alley, but Burnett moves over and makes the catch. With Shinjo rolling behind him in the outfield, and they're 2 away.
Yoshi Shinjo is a fine outfielder, good center fielder. Burnett cuts right in front of him. Remember the game in Anaheim, if you watched it? Jeremy Burnett was playing center field, and well, there were 2 extra base hits that were given to the Anaheim Angel hitters and should have been errors. But he is back where he is more comfortable, and it's been most of his career over in right field. He's a much better right fielder.
One of the things about changing positions, it is different, and there's a lot of difficulty in moving around like that. You can clearly see that Burnett had called for that ball all the way, but of course the center fielder really runs the outfield, and he says if he's got it, let the center fielder take it. But he couldn't have made that play easily. It was really Burnett's ball.
Now the wind blowing a bit tonight from right to left. Looking at the flags out in center field. Count on Giambi 2-0. Bases empty and 2 out. Fouled off, and on deck Posada if we get that far.
There's also clues in a ball game when you find your 2 balls and no strikes. And here's Jason Giambi, an outstanding fastball hitter. 2 balls, no strikes. He's got to look fastball with 2 outs in this inning. He got fastball and was late on it. Now the pitcher recognizes that, and so does the hitter.
Lets it go a little low.
But the thing is, you can't keep coming back with that fastball.
I know. That's the whole point. It's the cat and mouse game between the pitcher and the hitter. They came right back with a 2-1 pitch, and it was a changeup. Now 3-1, which is just about the same as 2-0. What's he going to throw?
Well, you can look fastball here and take the pitch, no matter whether it's fastball or curve. You don't want it. So it's ball 4, and the runner is hot.
Yeah, went with a changeup on that for ball 4. Your local Jeep dealers bring our Spanish viewers the chance to enjoy tonight's telecast in Espanol. And Billy and Juan are at the mic for the Subway Series 2003. These 2 teams will hook up 6 times this weekend, again next weekend. As Posada, the Yankee catcher, bats here at .260 with 15 homers.
And Joe Torre doesn't want those games to be played, at least 6 of them. He can take 3, he said, but not more than 3.
Yeah, it's tough on the managers. I know that. The players are very excited about it, getting into it. I don't think the managers want to do much more than check off 3 dates on the schedule this weekend.
He wants to play the teams in his own division, which means if he wins against the teams in his own division, it's like picking up 2 games. And picking up a win here doesn't affect the standings as much.
Giambi at first base, 2 away. Posada has seen Traxel 12 times in his career. He has just 2 hits off him. Just off the corner. The man behind the plate tonight is Ron Culpa. He's the umpire with Mike Winters at first, Bruce Fremming at second, and Doug Eddings making the calls at third.
Posada's had 6 home runs in 25 regular season games against the Mets. He has hit the Mets well.
Yeah, including a pair of 2 homer games in the Subway Series in '99 at Shea and at Yankee Stadium last June.
You don't see many catchers hitting in the cleanup spot. Tom Seaver pitched the 1 that did. Johnny Bench.
Might have been the best of all time, too. He gets my vote.
You don't see many catchers leading off, but Mickey Cochran of the Tigers used to be a leadoff batter.
Bouncing ball, Alomar down to get it. He'll make the play. Side retired. No hits and 1 man left. So a good start for Steve Traxel. And the Mets are coming up to face the Yankees. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. And now the starting lineup for the New York Mets, brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. As the fans are pumped for tonight's Game 1 of the Subway Series, a preview of things to come last night. Jose Reyes led off, but tonight he bats 8th. It's Alomar back in the top spot. Jeremy Burnett's coming off a terrific road trip that saw the Mets go 6-4. Vance Wilson could be a key man the way the Yankees like to run at the top of the order. He's hitting .286, also a very good trip. And up against the left-hander Andy Pettitte, he is 6-6 coming in, Tom.
And a high earned run average and a high innings pitched and hit ratio, 81 to 93 right there. He's 2 earned runs per game over his efforts last.
Alomar taking strike 1. And Pettitte got the win in his last outing. He beat St. Louis on Saturday 13-4. Went 7 innings, allowing 5 hits, 2 runs. He struck out 8. But he had not been pitching well before that. Ground ball, fair, that's just inside first. Scalded by Alomar down the line. He's heading for second. Mondesi with an excellent arm, but he's off target, and it's a double.
Mondesi has a tattoo on his arm that says is a tattoo of a toy cannon, and he has a great arm. Alomar gets to first base and doesn't look like he's going to really try, and then he makes his mind up, and a good throw would have got him. But the throw off line, and Alomar makes the 2-base hit. Right there, he turns it on, and he's got to go.
So here's Ty Wigginton looking to bunt, chops at it and fouls it away. Ty Wigginton, who's sitting about 300 with men in scoring position. That was one area, Tom, the Mets really excelled on the recent road trip. They hit 325 with runners in scoring position.
Well, one of the things here is that in the first inning, moving the guy over with one of the best hitters in your ball club, and he has been one of the best hitters in the Met ball club with a bunt. I said, I'm just not in favor of that. You got a pitcher who hasn't gotten his first out. And one of the things that I don't think any club can do or any manager can do is give the pitcher his first out. Make him earn it. And Wigginton has shown at times this year his ability to go to right field very well. You know, a ground ball on the right side, that'll get the runner Alomar to third base. Give him a chance to swing. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark, especially right-handed against left-handed pitcher.
Well, not bunting here. He was not on the previous pitch.
Now, he may have been bunting on his own.
Yeah,
I would doubt it. I doubt it.
That's not a good play.
No, not a good play.
I don't think Art Howe would have him bunt in this spot because this is a tough team. You're not playing the rinky-dinks. You got to score runs to beat this team.
And you should be able to get the runner to third base by hitting the ball to the right side.
That's right. You can do it that way, and that's something else.
On the inside corner, he pinned it there for called strike three. No argument by Ty Wigginton.
And the point being, you go back to first strike, where did it come from? He got in the hole immediately on the first pitch, got behind the 8 ball, and all of a sudden now only has 2 pitches to work on, and Pettit makes 2 perfect pitches. That last one right on the inside corner.
And the last one would keep him from hitting the ball to the opposite field by coming inside like that. So good job by Pettit. Good pitching. That's why he's won so many games.
Well, you know, here's another reason Jeremy Burnett's not to bunt there. Guy who is killing the ball right now. For the year at 291 as he takes up high for ball 1. But on the road trip, Burnett's went 13 out of 38. That's a 342 average. 4 homers and 10 runs batted in. And he has been the most reliable RBI guy in this club over the last several weeks since coming off the DL. 1 down. Alomar leading at second. Flying along the left field line, giving chase Ruben Sierra. That's right, Ruben Sierra, and it's out of play as the count moves to 1-1.
Take a second here to look at the defense for the New York Yankees. In the outfield, Sierra, Matsui, and Raul Mondesi in right. The infield, the expect Robin Ventura at third, Jeter at shortstop, Soriano and Giambi on the right side, and Ari Posada behind home plate.
Burnett's with 23 RBIs in his 24 games since coming off the disabled list. Tried to wait on it, got a real good cut at Pettit, fouled it back.
Well, he had this pitch timed real well. Breaking ball.
Man, if a hitter could rewind a tape and take another swing at the same pitch, he'd want that one back.
Well, you usually get 1 pitch to hit and you're 1 at bat against a good pitcher, and that was it. Nice hanging curveball.
1-2, got a piece of it on deck, Cliff Floyd.
Did you notice the inflection on the word hanging that Ralph used there?
I did, yeah.
I mean, it brought back visions of hanging curveball.
Hanging curveball. Boy, you live off those.
You know what I heard about you when you got the hanging curveball? You used to turn around to the catcher and say, "Hold on here, I'll take care of this one." Is that true? Is there any truth to that story or not?
I would say it might be just a tad exaggerated.
I hope not. It sounds too good.
I have heard catchers say when those pitches are coming up there, "Oh no." You hear that a lot.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, not that.
Fastball inside, got him looking. He came back with a Swifty at 92 miles an hour and caught Burnett's.
Well, the location on this pitch was identical to the one that he struck out Wigginton on. Inside corner fastball, and again the same thing here. Burnett thinks the ball's inside, but it catches that corner.
So now Cliff Floyd will try and salvage something here in the first inning. Alomar led off with a double down the line. Taking it the opposite way, he is still there. Two away in the Met first. It's downstairs for ball 1. I mentioned that Pettit had not been pitching particularly well before his last start. In fact, he had just one win in his previous 7 starts. And now home plate umpire Ron Copa is throwing somebody out of the ballgame inside the Met dugout. He has tossed somebody.
Could be Burnitz.
I think it might be Burnitz. Indeed, it is Jeremy Burnitz. Here comes Art Howe to argue it. But Burnitz has been thumbed by home plate ump Ron Copa. And here comes Jeremy.
Well, you don't want 2 guys thrown out of the ball game in your starting lineup.
What for, he's saying. What for? He wants to know what he said. Copa will hear none of it. But it's a mea culpa from Jeremy Burnitz. He doesn't think he's guilty.
Well, the one thing about this is, how does an umpire distinguish the voice of someone from the bench when you got 50,000 people in the ballpark on top of that?
Well, the New York Mets are going to need a new right fielder tonight.
That's just about as much as we're ever going to see Jeremy Burnitz talk at one moment.
You're right.
Maybe an entire day. He never says a word. And he had a point. I said I didn't say a word. Somebody probably barking over there.
Oh yeah, could have been somebody, and you usually get that. But why pick a starting player out, and you can't be that sure who it is? There's no one in the world who can identify a voice from that distance.
You know who walked in from second base? Bruce Fleming, right?
And he probably said that's the guy.
He'll no, I would come here. I bet he's going to chew this umpire behind home plate. He's going to chew him out.
Well, that'd be good because Fleming, he's been around a long time.
I mean, it's the first inning of a game, Mets Yankees. And you're going to throw somebody out of the ball game because somebody's barking in the bullpen and you're not sure who it is.
That's right. That's tough.
I mean, Burnett's got a point.
He's got a good point, and it's overreacted.
Tells you one thing. The players aren't the only ones, and the fans aren't the only ones amped up for this series. The umpires are too. Maybe a little too much. 1-1, now 2-1 on Floyd. Left batting .272, 13 home runs, looking for his first home run swing since June 11th, but you will not see a home run swing the rest of the night from Jeremy Burnitz. Although he lingers in the dugout for now. So it'll take a 2-out hit from Floyd to get to Pettit here in the first inning. He checked. It was down into the dirt, 3-1.
He threw Burnitz out. I thought he was talking to Cliff Floyd. I thought Floyd was gone. Because Floyd turned around and looked at him. He said, "You're gone." And then Cliff turned around and looked at the umpire and said, "Why are you throwing me out for?" He said, "I'm not throwing you out. I'm throwing."
He said, I just got here.
I just got here. So I don't agree with the pitch. It wasn't that bad. I'll take a strike. It's all right.
I didn't have any time to do anything. 3-1. That is inside, presumably, for ball 4. Although that did not look like a bad pitch. And Art Howe and Jeremy Burnitz might have bought a pitch right there with that argument. Let's take another look.
That's a bad purchase price. So when you lose your top inning outfielder on what would be a dubious call.
Well, it's ball 4 to Floyd. So the Mets have runners at first and second for Jason Phillips, who steps in at .262, 3 home runs.
I think you're exactly right, Mr. O'Brien. He bought a strike right there. I mean, that's as good a pitch as he threw to Wigginton. Good a pitch as he threw to Burnitz. Both of them called strike 3. Now, how in the world they get if that pitch, the pitch to Floyd, if he calls a strikeout, how can you can't argue?
Yeah, not now.
And that's hairline. He had to be looking away and be looking probably breaking ball away.
Right. 2-0.
Many times this is where a young player, look at Vance Wilson and the on-deck strip. Phillips, young player as far as major league experience goes. He has the advantage over the pitcher. The pitcher does not know what strengths and weaknesses are other than by the advanced scouting reports, but having never faced an individual. He's a little tentative right there as far as Pettit is concerned. Ball 1, ball 2. One of the things you want to know from a hitter when you first face him, where can I get hurt? Can I throw the ball by him upstairs? He found out he could right there. And where is the out? Where, if I need an out, where can I go? And you learn that over a period of time. Many times as a new player you have no information on, of your own information, that gets you in trouble.
The 2-1 home. Left it outside. So he's only thrown 1 strike since the ejection. That was the high strike that Phillips helped him out on with the swing and the miss.
2-0, he guessed pitch.
Yep.
2-0, and he guessed fastball, got fastball, and swung at borderline high fastball.
Alomar and Floyd on base with 2 away. No score first inning. Mets trying to change that against Pettit. Bases are loaded. That's ball 4. So maybe the one that got rattled more than anybody else during the ejection sequence of Burnitz was the man on the mound, Andy Pettit.
A funny inning. You got a double, you have 2 walks, and no runs scored. That's sandwiched around a couple of punch-outs.
The punch-outs were balls that were taken, not swung. No one swung a bat when they were struck out.
Pettit trying to hold in the first inning, but the bases are jammed for the Mets. Vance Wilson batting .286 with 6 homers. Alomar at third, Floyd at second, Phillips at first. So they lead all the way around with 2 away. Only thrown 1 strike in his last 10 pitches. There's another one. Mets, for the most part, are very familiar with Andy Pettit. Obviously, you have more young guys in the lineup tonight, but as a franchise, the Mets have seen a lot of Andy Pettit. This is his 10th regular season start against the Mets. The most starts any pitcher has had against an interleague opponent in the 7-year history of interleague play. They count nothing at 2.
That's a breaking ball, probably a slider down and in. That followed about 6 consecutive fastballs. Vance Wilson said, where'd that come
from? The 0-2. Trickled to third. Softly, Ventura with it. Guns it across. Side retired. So Pettit survives the first inning despite a double and a pair of walks. The Mets leave them loaded. It's 0-0. Mets miss a pretty good chance there. Bases loaded, 2 down against Andy Pettit, but could not get the big hit. Ron Kopel, the home plate umpire, has tossed Jeremy Burnitz for arguing balls and strikes. Let's listen into that sequence.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's get out.
Well, it appeared right there that he was talking to someone and they answered back, so that might have influenced the call, and Burnitz is now restrained.
Yeah, by Jay So. John Kimmerling is downstairs, and Sean, I know you were closer to that sequence than we were.
Yeah, I talked to Jeremy Burnitz as he went into the clubhouse after being ejected. He said, quote, "I did not say 1 word, nothing."
Wow.
So if somebody said something to the home plate umpire, Jeremy Burnitz says, it wasn't him, guys. Back upstairs to you.
That appears to be a rather grave injustice. A little chopper by Hideki Matsui for out number 1 to begin the second inning. Matsui, the 29-year-old 3-time Central League MVP from Japan. Joe McEwing now takes over in right field for Burnitz. Of course, the Yankees thought they were going to get a lot more power out of Hideki Matsui, and he was going to be a fly ball hitter. The tip-off to that was the 50 home runs he had last year as Sierra gets ready to dig in. But Matsui has now grounded out 118 times this year, Tom, and that's more than any other American League hitter.
Well, the visions of right field in Yankee Stadium, as far as I'm concerned, 75% behind all of that. Fly ball hitter, Yankee Stadium, proven hitter in the Japanese League. Get him over here. Got short porch in Yankee Stadium.
But he isn't pulling the ball. He's hitting the ball the other way, and that's why he's not taking advantage of that short fence.
Sierra drives this one on line. McEwing slipped and drops the ball. It's off his glove. Heading into second, Sierra. The throw is off target. McEwing just inserted into the game and immediately gets tested on a sinking line drive that he cannot handle.
Well, the field certainly isn't a good field to play on. It's very wet, as you can see there. But he could have made that catch. He recovered, and the ball was in the glove and then out. Now it slips again on the soft turf. And Sierra goes for what should be or could be a two-base hit.
Indeed, it will be. So a double for Sierra, just acquired from Texas on June 6th. And he has been murdering the ball since joining the Yankees. Here's Robin Ventura, the third baseman. He, of course, was a New York Met third baseman for 3 seasons. He takes a strike. 1999 to 2001.
That's an Elmer in right field. They gave him a hit.
They gave him a hit, yeah.
I've got the same ball that I had in Anaheim in the games they played against the Angel. That ball got to be
should have been
hit him
caught,
right in the glove.
Should have been caught, even though he slipped.
You can't look a lot more awkward on a play than Joe McEwing did. On that line drive, that one sinks away from Ventura. No score here, second inning.
And if you want to know what an Elmer is,
what's an Elmer, Tom?
First letter. For those of E from a clubhouse standpoint. You get any Elmers in the game today? No E's. E for Elmer. You don't want a lot of Elmers in your career.
And Traxel has now allowed as many hits in the first couple of innings as he did in all 9 in that game Tom talked about in Anaheim last Sunday.
One of the things that he did so well in the game against the Angels was mixing his pitches, getting his off-speed pitches open for strikes, getting ahead in the count. He got behind Giambi. He didn't want to pitch to him.
It's back-to-back 1-0 shutouts. That back in 1996. That's pretty good pitching right there. One against the Red Sox and one against the Yankees.
Well, the game last Sunday was the 20th one-hitter in the history of the New York Mets.
And the guy on the right here had 5 of those 20. Tom Seaver. He had 1 9-inning no-hitter nobody talks about. Tarzan Wallace. What's his name? Tarzan Wallace?
I think you're the one that gave him that name, Tarzan.
No, I didn't.
You heard this too. You told me I made a mistake throwing him a curveball.
Well, I told you, yeah.
It was 22 years ago.
Phillips started down for it, but Traxel gets to the base quickly, and Alomar flips it there over to third. Sierra with 2 away.
There's real good teamwork right there between Alomar and Jason Phillips. Now, Phillips is going all the way here. And watch him pull up short. No, I hear Alomar barking me off, and that's exactly what happened. They had this mistake about 2 weeks ago, 10 days to 2 weeks ago, lack of communication. Phillips playing out of position. And Robbie Alomar, you make a mistake, you fix it right now, and that's exactly what he did. And Jason Phillips put on all, he has got all brakes, all 4 brakes going right there.
Well, here's a case where not having the DH immediately affects the New York Yankees. Mondesi will be walked because the pitcher has to bat here at Shea. That means Andy Pettit will come up and swing. So Mondesi to be intentionally passed first and third with 2 down. About to be the case for Pettit. Old Mondesi hitting .284, coming in with 13 home runs. That's a pretty fair lineup if Mondesi is your number 8 hitter. 120 career for Andy Pettit.
Well, the one difference in the 2 legs is the DH, and of course the big thing about that is really not that part of it that does add hitting when you have to take the pitcher and not let him bat. Somebody else that can hit will be sent up there. But the big difference is whether you take the pitcher out of the ballgame or leave him in when it's due to come up. What happens in the American League.
Pettit takes ball 1.
They're taking all the pitchers out anyway.
You're right.
I mean, they're pitching 6 or 7 innings. 7 innings
they're going out anyway, yeah. But how about the 5th inning or 6th inning where you have to be behind and have to use a pitch here?
Well, Traxel has averaged about 5.5 innings pitched per start this season. I mean, so he would be right. He's a perfect example of it.
Perfect.
Big cut. Pettit Looked like he swung the bat as if he were going to tag a 3-run homer.
This is a gargantuan swing right here. It just doesn't make contact.
Good looking swing though from that pitcher, wasn't it?
Pretty good. Good.
It's a little tardy, but
I'd be careful.
It was a lot tardy there.
What, crossing the street tonight?
Yeah. Make sure you get across.
The 1-1. And a piece of it popped it to Cliff Floyd in left. He's in shallow side, retired. So Traxel does an excellent job. He gives up the double, which should have been caught. He walks a man intentionally to get to Pettit, and it pays off with a fly to left field.
I see it, Jimmy. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's good.
So he threw out Jimmy, but this is not Jimmy. This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jimmy should still be in the game.
That's mistaken identity.
Whoever Jimmy is, I mean, Jeremy should still be in this thing. That's Shinjo to lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning, and then it's Jose Reyes. He will bat for the first time here at Shea Stadium in a regular season game, and then Steve Traxel. No score. And first pitch to Shinjo outside. He's hitting 184 with a homer and 7 runs batted in, playing center field tonight. Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver, Dave O'Brien with you from Shea. Game 1 of the 2003 Subway Series. Mets facing the Yankees in the first of 6 meetings the next 2 weekends. Mets today opening up all of the gates 2.5 hours before game time, as that one slapped through the hole for a base hit by Tsuyoshi Shinjo. Second hit off Pettit tonight. And tomorrow, don't miss a double dose of Reba on a special day and time. It all starts.
Well, a great ovation for the newcomer, Jose Reyes. First time at bat at Shea Stadium. Ventura at third base looking for a bunt. And he was looking right.
205 for Jose, a homer, 11 runs batted in. It's 11 RBIs in his first 9 games in the big leagues. Reyes led off last night down in rainy Miami. He was 0 for 4, although he did reach on an error. Close play over there. Pettit with an excellent pickoff move.
He has a great move, and Shinjo quickly back. Unfortunately for him, he was quick.
You know, the amazing part of that he's going back to first base anyway.
That's
and
right.
almost got picked off. He's leaning and moving toward first base and almost got picked off.
There it seemed going back to the bag again.
Busted bat and a foul ball, and look at how far the meat end of that bat traveled. Out to the grass in left field.
So it was great hand action.
It was great hand action and a real thin handle.
And a bad bat. Fortunately, there's no cork in there.
You know, there's some of those hitters when I was playing, they used to have right up there with a thin handle, so they'd make a little bullseye. Give them a nice place to shoot for.
Which you hit many times.
Look at that. Since 1995, when he broke in, Pettit with 67 pickoffs, the most in the majors, but he hasn't picked off anybody in his last 22 starts.
Nobody's running on them. That's why. And they're staying close to the bag. That's one way to stop the stolen base.
If you're leaning toward first, it's a little difficult to steal second. We were talking about that on the way out, David, about the number that you said about the number of games that hadn't picked anybody off. Well, he shut everybody's running game down.
He sure has. Shinjo is going back on that pitch. And they count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The White Sox had a pitcher named Bill Wright. And he would pick you off first base when you're tapping the bag. He gets it between taps. Boy, he had the greatest move I ever saw. You couldn't afford to take your foot high off the bag.
Boy, that's a good move. If you're afraid to lift your foot off the base. Slap foul by Reyes. And what a road trip this fella had. His major league debut made on that 6-4 Mets trip, his 20th birthday. And perhaps the birth of a star. He had his first major league hit, home run, RBI, run scored, grand slam, triple. A little bit of everything. Nobody out. Into the dirt. 2-2.
Only 4 of the Mets players in their history had 11 runs batted in their first 10 games. All of them had been with other ball clubs. Ken Boyer was one, Claudel Washington was one, Bernard Gilkey, and Robin Ventura.
Robin Ventura, tonight's third baseman for the New York Yankees. Line to center, but Matsui is in to make the catch. Stung pretty well by Reyes, but right at Hideki Matsui. And there is one away. And even when he makes it out, he's smiling. He's still grinning over there. Jose Reyes, the 20-year-old phenom. Here's Steve Traxel.
20 years old in the big leagues, playing first game at Shea Stadium. And it just happens to be between the Yankees and the Mets. Such is life when you're 20 years old, huh?
What a way to start a career.
Oh, what memories. I hope he remembers this forever.
Traxel squaring to bunt, drops it down. Barehanded by Pettit. He looks at second, but makes the play with Soriano covering.
Yeah, Pettit wanted to go to second base. Shinjo, very good speed. And the combination with Traxel being a good athlete and a good bunter lays on a perfect bunt. And Pettit had visions in his mind of going to second base, but his body is going that way. His body going toward the dugout, and he can't get back and get to second base. Right there, he's off balance. The unusual play of feeling that ball barehanded, which you're taught not to do every time you go to spring training. But he got his balance going the wrong way. He'd have fired it to second base. He might have fired it into the outfield.
Could have airmailed it to center field.
Yeah, absolutely.
About that. He was totally off balance, and that took him out of that chance. Smart play by Pettit.
Alomar in. He takes a strike. Tom, you say when you go to spring training, you're taught not to barehand a bunt as well?
Absolutely. Use your glove. That's the way I was taught.
No, well, how come? How come you absolutely don't barehand?
You can't predict where the bat hop is, and the control of it, and controlling the ball. And the glove is going to be there, and your hand's going to be on the ball a tenth of a second after it's in your glove.
Outside.
Some organizations are different, and they'll teach you there is one play, the squeeze play, where you've just got to shovel it. But I always believe that the glove hand, you've got a lot more room. You be able to control the ball, and the ball can get away from you in your bare hand when you're moving.
That's why they made gloves. It's easier to catch the ball.
That's right.
Got to have that discussion with Omar Vizquel one day. Shinjo, the runner at second, again knocked down by Posada. So for the second straight inning, it's the Mets with the scoring opportunity. They loaded up the bases in the first on a double by Alomar, walks to Floyd and Phillips, but could not bring in a run. Alomar, a .340 hitter with men in scoring position. Slices a foul, 2-2.
Pretty good swing right there, right-handed. He's been struggling right-handed, Rob, but that's a pretty good cut. That's pretty aggressive hit.
Yeah, aggressive. That's the main thing. That's the right word, because he's been sort of just feeding at the ball.
That's a pretty good swing right there.
Good hard swing there.
Actually made contact out in front of that front leg, that left leg. I haven't seen him swing like that in a long time. That's a very aggressive swing. Ugly numbers right-handed. That's the swing right there. See the difference in those two swings? One, he let it go, and that one just feeling for the ball, trying to fight it off, keep himself alive. And the ball a little bit farther away. See him trying to go to right field, but much more aggressive than the pitch before.
The Mets as a club hitting in the 220s off of lefties. Shut down pretty good by Willis and Phelps, the young southpaws there in Florida over the last several days. Swing and a miss, and he strikes him out. Side retired, and another man left in scoring position as Alomar can't get this fastball from Andy Pettit. Still 0-0. Mets fans step up to the plate and save up to 40% on Mets game tickets with your MasterCard. On select dates throughout 2003, the MasterCard Grand Slam Pack offers fans 4 discount tickets and Mets money. To purchase yours, just call 718-507-TIXX in advance or log on to ESPN.com. And remember, have your MasterCard ready. It's Mets.com you want to log on to. We have no score here in the third. Just getting started in inning number 3 with Soriano. 0 for 1. He is grounded out to third base. And he takes a strike. Not very often he's going to take a first pitch strike. He got something off speed there. Well known for his aggressiveness. He hit .464 last year on the first pitch. And on the second one, this one's gone. A deep drive and see you later into the bullpen. I mean, way back into that bullpen. And the Yankees take the lead over the Mets here 1-0. His 19th home run of the year. That was a shot.
Ralph, this would make for a great post-game argument right here, because you and I agreed on it. 23 walks and 157 strikeouts last year, and then the other side of the coin is home runs and RBIs. A little better that answer was answered right there with that swing and that ball hitting out
He
of
really
here.
has a
Wow.
swing, and he's got great talent, and he's going to get better. I think this is the reason why he's got a great build, and he's got all the qualities you need to be an outstanding ball player.
No, you talk about the number of strikeouts and walks, only 23 walks last year. And you got 41 stolen bases. How can you utilize the speed if you don't get on base? But if you give up the on-base percentage, you go away, don't get as many home runs. I mean, it's one of the great post-game arguments.
You can argue forever. Well, I'll take the home runs, and I'll take the fact that he's able to do that. But one thing is going to happen to him. He'll get more selective as he learns how to play the game of ball and get more walks, because he's going to be looking for better pitches to hit all the time. And he has to, when you don't walk like his background shows, you're swinging at the pitcher's pitch so many times,
Yeah,
which is why he strikes out so much.
That's a very good point. He still hit 300. Punched out 157 times, still hit 300.
That shows really talent there. Two players that you think of that struck out a lot but hit 300. In fact, one of them led the league in hitting. Andres Galarraga was one, and he struck out over 150 times. The other was Richie Allen, or Dick Allen, whichever way you want to call it. And he was an outstanding hitter that hit 300 and struck out a lot.
Fly ball and deep into right center. Shinjo backing up all the way to the wall. Back to back for the New York Yankees. Soriano and Jeter with back-to-back solo shots here in the third inning. For Jeter, his 4th. He had been slumping coming in, but he got this one.
Looked like he had a fastball up and out over the plate. Went with the ball to right center field. So the Yankees, who are tied coming into this ball game with the Texas Rangers with 104 home runs, now have 106. And the last two back-to-backers, and both of them no doubters for Steve Traxel. That's home run number 12 and 13 that he has given up.
Yeah, only Atlanta has hit more home runs in all of baseball. Giambi has 18. He walked his first time.
Well, the good news, if you're Mets fans, is there are solo home runs and you're still in the ball game.
This in back-to-back innings, the Mets have threatened to score and could not get the hit And on 2 swings, the Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Now, Giambi, since May 21st, has raised his batting average 48 points. Big swing and a miss. He was trying to make it 3 consecutive home runs there.
Oh, good pitch by Andy Pettit. The splitter going down and away in perfect spot. Then hard stuff in. The splitter down and away and came right back in on his fists.
Now look at the quote book. It's brought to you by Newsday. Giambi says, I like the atmosphere. It's like a playoff atmosphere. The fans really get into it, commenting on the Subway Series, which he was exposed to a year ago. The 3-2 pitch, slice foul, and quickly into the crowd. But you better be lively with these 2 clubs swinging the bats.
You like this guy's swing, Ralph?
I do. I like his size, I like his swing, as opposed to everything he does.
No excess movement. He's pretty simple, isn't he?
The bat is very still, and it goes right on the plane that goes into the ball. Results are always very good.
You're talking about his size, too. A lot of these guys, you don't realize how big they are until you're down there by the batting cage. You get up to say hello, and that's a pretty big man right there.
And I think he's dropped down. He's gotten leaner this year than last year.
And he's still big.
He's still huge.
I'm talking about big. And the shoulders are not. He's not going to the small men's department. Let's put it that way. He is broad-shouldered. Kind of the quintessential home run hitter. That kind of body.
Posada on deck.
Having a pretty good at bat right here.
I should say so.
You know, and somewhere in there he's telling himself, you know, somewhere he missed one, someplace. You know that. That one right there may have been it. He got in just a little bit on it. He had been late on Traxler's fastball. In front of the off-speed stuff and late. He wasn't late on that one.
What does that tell you when you're a pitcher? It means he's looking breaking ball. That's what the answer is.
You're looking for that off-speed punch. A lot of times hitters do that, and they'll look for something they can't hit. Now that's how stupid hitters are, Mr. Kiner. Oh, excuse me. They look away from what their strengths are.
Why look for a curveball if you can't hit it? Look for something.
That was my motto, because I couldn't hit it.
Inside for ball 4. That was an 11-pitch at bat.
That's a great at bat right there, Dave.
And he walks for the second time. And here comes Vern Rule out to chat with Traxler, who's given up 2 homers in the inning.
Yeah, that's a great at bat. Now, whether he's frustrated, he's talking to Lee Mazzilli down there at first base. And you see the walks in the American League. Giambi with 54 already, and Posada with 46. Now, Lee is either telling him something dumb or a bad name, or that's some kind of secret that he's passing along from the New York Yankee upper brass.
For those of you not knowing the history of the Mets, Mazzilli was the Mets' first-round draft choice and played some fine ball for the Mets for many years. Also became an actor.
That didn't work out.
So now he's back coaching at first base, acting as a coach at first base.
Ooh. Nicely placed.
2 rave reviews. We'll save him there. So Giambi getting his lead with Posada in the box. Posada 0 for 1. He's grounded to second. 2-0 the Yankees. Yankees have been a good road club. They're 22-12, which is second best in the American League to that Seattle Mariners team. They came into Shea Stadium and won a series. On the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the things we haven't mentioned about the Yankees is that they've been playing without Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams is one of the outstanding players in baseball. He's on the deal. So Joe Torre has not had the benefit of one of the best outfielders around. He just signed a new contract as a composer, guitarist, And the music company signed him up, owned by a former Beatle, Paul McCartney.
Have you heard Bernie? Have you heard him on the guitar?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either. Well, we'll wait for the CD, I guess. Fouled off by Jorge Posada.
The CD will be called The Journey Within. It'll be released in July. McCartney said it's a home run. So it's going to be good.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Paul McCartney said that?
Yeah. You don't believe me?
How many games do you think Paul McCartney?
No, he does like baseball.
Does he?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know McCartney was a baseball fan.
And a pint of ale, too?
Yeah.
Popped up by Posada over the center of the diamond. Wynn carries it over to Reyes for the first out of the inning. So Paul McCartney is a baseball fan.
I want to know what circles you're running in when you're rubbing elbows with Paul McCartney. You met Mr. McCartney before?
No,
Sir Paul, I should say. By the way.
I haven't met him.
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
We go to different bars.
You make me feel better that you're not out there running around with Mr. McCartney.
No, that's not my thing.
Matsui 0 for 1. And this international star loves interleague play. He's been carving it up with a 447 average in interleague games. That's the best in the majors. So maybe Matsui just picked the wrong league. And that's in there for strike one.
It used to be, David, that the difference between the American League and the National League. There's a little bit of the homework that the coaches and the manager and scouts, etc., prepare for ball clubs. Opposing pitchers chart, what their tendencies, etc. It used to be the National League was a fastball league, and the American League was a breaking ball league. And it was that way for quite a while. The strength of the National League was in the guys that threw real hard, and it was. And I'm not saying everybody. Certainly, Sam McDowell pitching in Cleveland wasn't a soft tosser by any means.
Anything but
as a general rule, the hard throwers seemed to be in the National League, and that was the big difference between the two leagues. You would see 2-0 and 3-1 pitches from the American League pitchers, where you'd see breaking ball, you'd see changeup, slider, etc. Almost anything but a fastball, even when you're ahead of the hitter. Or behind the hitter, I should say.
Make sure he strikes out, and so there are 2 gone in this inning.
Okay, let's take that a little bit farther. In the old days in the National League, they used balloon chest protectors. And they were outside protectors, and the umpires would stand up straight and umpire, and it was a high ball league in the National League. When they changed to everyone wearing the chest protectors that are inside the shirt, then the umpires could get down low, and they became low ball umpires and called the low strike. So it kind of goes with the equipment if you go back that far.
The American League kept the outside big balloon protector, chest protector.
So
that's an excellent point, too.
Ruben Sierra doubled off the glove of Joe McEwing in the second inning and was stranded out there. He takes ball one.
One umpire in the National League that kept the balloon type umpire's chest protector was Jock O'Connor, who's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he got in the Hall of Fame because he kept the chest protector, but that could be a cause.
Big swing and a miss by Sierra.
Now the umpires are all under one realm. They're all together and don't have a National League supervisor or an American League supervisor. They're all bunched in one bunch.
And they don't have a president to talk to either. There's a man who's got 32 years of umpiring experience, and a little bit of what we were talking about before, Bruce Fremming. 32 years. We saw him come in when the home plate umpire Ron Copa threw out Jeremy Burnitz, who's got 4 years of experience in the Major League Baseball.
Either threw out Jeremy Burnitz or some guy named Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah, call him Jimmy. That's right. Who's Jimmy? Do we have a Jimmy on this ball club?
No idea who Jimmy is.
Did we have a Jimmy last year on this ball club? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Bruce? I bet you Bruce Fremming knows that his first name was Jeremy.
I think so. Of course, Bruce umpires, lives down in Florida, and umpires the spring training games around Vero Beach.
And a darn good umpire, too, by the way.
Well, Traxel goes to 3-1 on Sierra, who's hitting .419 since joining the Yankees.
Well, we talked in the opening about Steve Traxel's last outing against the world champion Anaheim Angels. And one thing that he did, he was ahead in the count. He stayed ahead of his hitters. He was first pitch strikes. He was getting all his pitches over. And a couple of home runs here today. David Wells looking on. He has been behind a majority of his hitters. 3-1 fastball right down Broadway. Fastball hitter. And what happened here, Ralph?
Big swing and no contact, but boy, he lets out on this thing because he is looking fastball, gets fastball, and that could end up down in Flushing, New York.
And you know what? Joe Torre is saying we don't care. Just hit it 360 feet. You don't have to hit it 660 feet. How can you miss that ball?
It's a good thing he did as far as fastball.
That's right.
3-2. Giambi takes off, and it's popped up. Third base side. Drifting. Reyes trying to get there. Wigginton 2. They collide. The catch is made, I believe, or is it? I think Reyes hung on to it. He did. He comes up grinning. Wigginton actually got it. Wigginton made the catch, although he got slammed from behind there by his former roommate in Dominican winter ball. And Ty Wigginton with the grab, and the side is retired. 2-0 Yankees. Well, on back-to-back home runs by Alfonso Soriano and Derek Jeter, it is 2-0 the Yankees as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Tom Seaver, Ralph Connor, Dave O'Brien with you, and that is Steve Traxel, who had a rough inning. Ty Wigginton 0 for 1. He was caught looking in the first inning, and let's go back. Give you a look at that catch made on the bump.
Right here, Wigginton on top, so he gets the ball. And the collision by Reyes. No one hurt.
Got a lot of Wigginton's cap as well.
Reyes going, yeah. Reyes going in there.
I think he got hit in the chin. Quick look from the trainer, but apparently he's all right. So Wigginton 0 for 2 tonight. That brings up Joe McEwing batting for the first time. He's hitting .228. He came on after Jeremy Benitz was tossed out of the ball game by home plate umpire Ron Kulpa after Jeremy was called out looking in the first inning. But Benitz says that he didn't say anything. He didn't say a thing to Ron Kulpa. That's what he told our Sean Kimmerling as he was leaving for the clubhouse after getting the hook. McEwing takes low for ball 1. Well, look at the Lexus interleague scoreboard, and a lot of games around the big leagues tonight with terrific rivalries and a lot of regional factors on the line. This weekend will probably be baseball's top weekend of the summer at the gate. You would think everywhere, starting today with the White Sox and the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and some of the best draws of the season are taking place. Tonight, San Francisco playing at Oakland in the Battle of the Bay. The Angels are at Chavez Ravine against the Dodgers for LA bragging rights. Houston playing the Rangers in Arlington, Texas. Toronto visiting Montreal for a series that may actually draw up there at Olympic Stadium. And you have the Mets and the Yankees in the opener of the Subway Series. Punch, a great play by Giambi on the dive, and he steals a hit from Joe McEwing.
Joe having a tough time trying to get a base hit this year. He's pretty struggling with the bat, but here his bid for one is taken away as Giambi makes a very good play.
So 2 down. Here comes Cliff Floyd. Cliff drew a first inning walk as the Mets loaded the bases with 2 down, but did not score a run in that frame, and they also had a runner at second base in the second inning and could not score. And a little bit of rain has started to fall here at Shea Stadium.
Well, the Phillies having that problem with rain today, and now it's moving up to the area up here in New York, and they're worried about rain tonight and also tomorrow.
You know, we never really had spring here in New York, did we? It's been Seattle. It's rained 28 out of the last 51 days in the city. Ralph, it's depressing. Broken bat there for Cliff Floyd.
That's why we live in California.
There's one simple answer to that, Mr. Kiner. I think you and I found it, didn't we?
We found that answer.
You want some Kleenex there, Mr. O'Brien?
I was about to say, what's this wee stuff? Yeah. And there for a strike on Floyd. On deck, Jason Phillips.
You want to take the rain to Florida? You always need it down there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Huh?
Every afternoon at 4. Nobody on base here, and the rain starting to hit Shea Stadium. Line drive and a single through the opposite side for Cliff Floyd. And on the night, he has walked and singled now.
Well, Tom, this is the way to hit a pitcher that goes away with a perfect pitch.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there. If you try to pull it, it's a simple ground out to the second baseman.
And the broken bat.
Yeah. A little bit of experience right there. I'm not going to do anything, just try to serve it out there to left field. Take my single.
Jason Phillips took ball 4 in the first inning.
One thing about Jason Phillips, he does not get cheated, does he?
He has some good swings.
He lets it go. Got that bat moving, got the bat head going. Never keeps that bat still. That's the old theory of if they get the weight moving. Your timing is right, you'll get it to the hitting zone.
I know he's got a visor on that helmet, but you know he wears glasses. When it's raining like this, it's extra tough for him. He does everything he can to keep the, you can see him waving it off there, kind of clean up the visor of that helmet, but it's tough.
You talked about somebody earlier, Ralph, a guy that wiggled the bat, the top of the bat. Richie Allen.
Richie Allen
got the top of that bat going.
So Sheffield too.
You have the weight moving, not going from a dead start.
You know who's been trying that too is Pat Burrell of the Phillies. He's been in a bad slump all year, but he's been doing the same thing. 3-1.
Well, the one thing about hitting, you usually need to have a trigger, something that gets you in motion, gets you started. Joe DiMaggio was probably the worst person to copy as a hitter than anyone around because he hit from a stationary position, no movement whatsoever. That is really hard to do.
3-1 rack foul into some of that rain gear down the right field line. Starting to rain harder now. And that wind is starting to pick up even more. Here come the umbrellas. Pettit's 3-2 pitch to Jason Phillips. Got him swinging for strike 3, and now Posada will throw on to get him. The side is retired. Pettit allows 1 hit. And here comes Traxel walking through the game 1 of the Subway Series 2003. It is 2-0. The New York Yankees with the lead on back-to-back homers by Soriano and Jeter off of Steve Traxel an inning ago. It's on to the 4th inning. There's a deep shot toward the alley. On the move, Floyd. He can't reach it. It skips up over the fence, and Robin Ventura will have an automatic double. So the former New York Mets had a big year for the Mets in 1999. Doubles here.
Well, still a very popular player here at Shea Stadium, and well, he should be. Terrific sense of humor, great competitor, pro's pro, great defensive player. Goes the opposite field and still can't run a lick.
Hadn't gotten any faster.
Nope. And loves to joke about it too.
And still one of the best guys that hits with the bases are loaded. When they're loaded, he hits extremely well.
Center field fly by Mondesi, and Shinjo measures it. Ventura, yeah, he's going. Here comes the throw. On target, the tag, and he's out.
Well, he's still trying to prove you're wrong, Tom.
I watched the slide. He does trickery. He's going to slide out there. I got in there, didn't I? Watch this. Now, Robin, that is not one of his strengths. And he's going to do the fadeaway slide, touch it with a hand. Even if he didn't touch it, there is no way you can call it safe. He was out by 15 feet.
I thought he got the glove on him.
Yeah, he did hit right in the calf, it looked like. Shinjo with a great arm, of course.
So Ventura slides right into a double play, and a trickler by Pennant retires the side. But here's the gun by Tsuyoshi Shinjo to nail this still slow Robin Ventura. Nothing doing for the Yankees in this inning. Well, here's a look at the Dodge trivia question for tonight. Who has played the most regular season games with the 4 New York teams? As we come to you from Shea Stadium tonight, kicking off the Subway Series between the Yankees and the Mets.
Look at Randolph at third base. He's saying get down. And he does it by getting right down himself.
Could not get a whole lot closer to the base, and it was interesting about the play too, looking at it from that angle. It didn't appear as if Wigginton got the tag on the calf but on the hand of Ventura. But if that's the case, Ventura's foot is already sliding across third as Vance Wilson pops this one up into short right, and Soriano didn't see it at first. Now he does to make the catch. Take one more look at the play at third, the throw by Shinjo.
Yeah, I think he got it done. His calf got his hand, and that right leg is not anywhere near third base. He was doing the straight in fadeaway slide and touch it with your hand. They don't teach that in spring training anymore.
What do they teach that?
Southern California.
Southern California. Right. Has to be.
Yeah, it's where it's not raining. Here's Shinjo. He singled his first trip and has also thrown out Robin Ventura at third. It is 2-0 the Yankees, however. And the Mets, since the first inning, having to go without Jeremy Burnitz, who was apparently renamed Jimmy by home plate umpire Ron Kolpa. He was ejected, and Burnitz has been the main power source on the Mets the last several weeks.
It just does not make sense to me. If you're an umpire, and I think Bruce Fleming, we talked about him being a 32-year-old veteran. He's umpiring out at second base, and you got Kolpa, who is a 4-year veteran. Obviously a young umpire. You got Yankees Mets, first game of a 3-game series. You got to have better control than that. You have to have better patience. You know, this game is not about the umpires, it's about the players. You get a full house tonight, full house tomorrow, and a full house the next day. You give the guy a warning, let him cool down. You know, there is something to being a veteran umpire and knowing when to bite your tongue. And he was in the dugout. I mean, there was nothing visual on the field where any fan could see what was going on.
Ventura with the charge, close play, we got him.
Ventura with that great ability to be off balance and make the accurate throw. I agree with you, Tom. First of all, umpires don't like to be showing up. When you're yelling from the bench, and they do it a lot, they're not showing them up. No one in the stands can see this or hear this or what's going on.
Can't see a thing.
If you're doing it in his face, that's another thing. And if you're doing it and he says, okay, that's enough, you should be smart enough to walk away. But from the bench, you never know who's yelling. Because there are a lot of guys yelling out there, and usually it's the manager and 4 or 5 guys.
You really have to be sure that you're throwing out the right guy.
You really got to realize the situation and what you're in, too.
Oh, yeah.
You can't throw somebody out for that. No way.
Reyes went down in front of home plate awkwardly. on this foul ball.
That ball hit either on the shin or on the bottom. Oh, right on the top of the foot. It hurts just as much in the big leagues as it does in the minor leagues. Young man, get used to it. It's 0-2. Put the ball in play. And again, here we talk about big outs in the ball game. Here it is, 0-2, 2 outs. Pitcher in the on-deck circle. Clean this out. Clean the pitcher out so he doesn't lead off next inning. That's the objective right here. There's Steve Traxel in the on-deck circle. The big outs, a lot of people don't realize that you're hitting the number 8 spot. It's one of the big responsibilities that you have. One of the most overlooked as well. If you're not hitting 8th in that position, you can sit there with 2 outs and think a little bit more about home run. If you're in the 8th spot with 2 outs, you got to get on base. Clear it, so you start with the top of the lineup next inning.
He lined out to center his first time up tonight. Check swings a foul on a play here.
You know, one of the things I liked about him, the home run, the grand slam that he hit in Anaheim, the next 2 at-bats, his sequence of at-bats. He didn't think about, it wasn't look like he was trying to hit home run at all. He was trying to singles back up the middle. It's a great young mental approach.
Cuts and misses for strike 3. So it will be Traxel to lead off the next inning. And Andy Pettit, despite a couple of rough early innings, is still tossing a shutout at the Mets. All right, gentlemen, it is trivia time, brought to you by Dodge, who has played the most regular season games with any of the 4 New York teams: the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Giants.
Oh, Willie Mays came up in 1951, and so did Mickey Mantle. So Mantle stayed with the Yankees longer than Mays. Mays went to San Francisco, but the answer is Mel Ott, 2,730 games. Came to the major leagues as a 16-year-old boy. You talk about guys coming young. He was in the major leagues with the Giants at 16.
I was gonna guess Lou Gehrig because of the consecutive game streak at that time, but obviously Mel went way by that. Grounded foul by Traxel, and he is in the batter's box here in the 5th inning with a 2-0 Yankee lead.
The top 10. Mantle second, Zach Wheat, old timer, played with Casey Stengel. Lou Gehrig's in there, obviously. Yogi Berra, Pee-wee Reese, Babe Ruth, whose career started with the Red Sox as a pitcher. Roy White, there's a name you wouldn't think of, and Ed Krankle on the list. Came to the major leagues at the age of 17 with the New York Mets. And Bill Dickey, the great catcher.
Not foul again by Traxel. And the rain continues to fall very lightly here at Shea. At times it's been a little bit heavier than this, but never enough to suspend play for any time tonight. Alomar next, and then Ty Wigginton. Back out of play, still 0-2. 3 hits for the Mets, 4 for the Yankees, but 2 of the Yankees hits have left the park. Soriano and Jeter back-to-back in the 3rd inning. Soriano would have had another if not for Shinjo and a leaping catch at the fence to pull one away, which was gone.
Pretty good hacks by this pitcher right here. You notice that?
Yeah, he's hit a couple of home runs in the major leagues. He also got his first hit in the major leagues. And he is a... Where's he going? That was not strike 3.
It was a strikeout victim.
That's one of the funniest things that I have seen all year. The catcher's gone, the hitter's gone, not to get the rosin bag. The second baseman is moving in to take the throw coming around the horn, and the only buddy that didn't agree was home plate umpire again.
Who is becoming very controversial in this ball game.
That one's got to go on the year-end reel right there.
Well, this is the 8th pitch of Traxel's at bat, although he thinks it ought to be over, and now it is. He strikes out. One away here tomorrow. Who'll pay the price when Lily's credit card debt spirals out of control. Find out on Grounded for Life tomorrow at 9:30, only on the WB11.
Talking about Traxel. He got his first hit and his first at bat in the major leagues. Chris Hammond.
Alomar looking to bunt, fouls it away. He's doubled and struck out tonight. Wigginton in next. Alomar has hit the Yankees pretty well throughout his career. 326 lifetime. And a two-base hit tonight. He rattles a foul. With a white slam in the very first inning. He had an awful first. Cub pitcher got knocked around. Ground ball toward the hole, reaching for it. Jeter throws off balance, close to the dive at first base. Alomar is safe. That'll be a base hit.
Once again, Alomar diving into that bag, and that is very, very dangerous.
Juggled just momentarily at shortstop by Derek Jeter. Couldn't get his weight organized. Couldn't find the handle on the ball. If he gets it clean, neat, throws to first, he might get Alomar. And your point about the head-first slide, Mr. Kinder, you know who else does this on the New York Met Ball Club? The new shortstop.
Does he?
Goes into bases
head first.
that
in a minute.
Yep. Somebody's got to put an end to that. And end up with a broken finger. Lose a player for a month, 6 weeks.
Alomar aboard for Wigginton, who's gone 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out. Starting tonight, the Mets play 9 of 12 here at home at Shea. The Marlins come in on Tuesday. The Mets play in the Bronx next weekend in the second-place exposure here the following week. Big swing and a miss by Wigginton. And that schedule gets us into July.
Big swing here by Wigginton on the breaking ball. Huge swing, as a matter of fact.
And totally out of balance.
Totally out of balance and control. No, not good at all.
You see McEwing do that time after time after time. Totally out of balance.
The Mets, of course, are not a running ball club. They've stolen only 19 bases on the year. And Robbie Alomar has wiped 6 of them. It's actually perfect. 6-0 in stolen bases.
That is a tough move to run on. Wow.
Shot out to left field. Sierra on the move. It's over his head. Bounces up against the fence and stays in. Alomar trots into third. It's a double for Ty Wigginton. So after a perfectly awful swing, Art Howe loved this one. Wigginton smoking a double, and the Mets are in business, second and third here.
But he gets a fastball and drills it. A sinking line drive over the head of Sierra. Sierra playing left field. One of the few times he is not used as a DH, and they're trying to find out what kind of a deal he can do in the outfield. And the Mets have runners at second and third. The tying run at second base, 1 man out, and the Hardler batting order should be coming up, but McEwing will be the batter. He had to come in the game when right fielder Burnitz was tossed out.
Swing and a miss for strike one, and as mentioned, Burnitz, the top RBI force on this team for the last several weeks.
Going after the first pitch out of the strike zone. Ralph has already talked about Joe McEwing, how he looks like he's always off balance when he is swinging. He commits very early and almost dives into the hitting zone.
Well, a single here with 1 out could tie it up. On the infield, softly, Ventura across. Out at first, McEwing. The runners have to stay right where they are.
Maybe a little bit of wet on the infield. Robin Ventura, he makes that play easily. but he threw it wide to first base. He'll check the runner, hold him right there, and maybe a little bit of wet grass and the water get into the ball. A bad throw to first, but a nice play by Giambi. He absolutely froze Alomar at third. No place for Alomar to go whatsoever. So it'll be up to Cliff Floyd.
Well, Floyd has a perfect night brewing so far. A walk and a single. He's hitting .353 his last 20 games. Here's ball one. Floyd throughout his career has been a better hitter against lefties, oddly enough, than against right-handers. You look at his career batting clips. What a cut he had. What a cut. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, he gets a fastball here, and it's just a shade behind it. He singled his last time up in a fastball that was maybe off the plate, but at least on the outside part of the plate, and hit it to left field. Left fielder very deep. Ruben Sierra out there.
On the inside corner, and Floyd had given up on the pitch.
Well, I think this ball looked inside to me. Let's see where it is. That's got to be around the plate, but
remember the first inning? He walked on a pitch that was better than that one.
Yeah, that's right.
And now that one's a ball. That was clearly inside.
Oh, it was really.
That's one of the worst things an umpire can do is change the strike zone, either on the pitcher or the hitter.
Just got a piece of it.
In the first inning, it was a pitch that was ball 4 to Cliff Floyd, and it was very close. I think if he called him out, Cliff Floyd would have walked away. And that pitch there, which he called a strike, was worse than the pitch in the first inning. These hitters don't go up there, nor do pitchers go to the mound and not throw things that are relative to pitchers thrown earlier in the ball game. That's the amazing part about it.
That's true.
If you call it a strike one time or a ball one time, it's got to be that way the entire night. It doesn't change when you're on base. It doesn't change from the 3rd inning to the 8th inning. It's the same the entire game. That's the mark of a good umpire.
Floyd with a pop-up. Ventura with room, has it. And once again, the New York Mets frustrated. Floyd firing down the bat. They left the bases loaded in the first inning. Left men on in the 2nd and 3rd.
The ball game is an official game with the Yankees leading by a score of 2-0 after 5. So if it were to rain hard enough to stop this game, it would be in favor of the Yankees. But the Mets don't want that done.
Boy, if it continues to pelt the field like this, the umpires will have no choice pretty soon, except to suspend play. Fouled back by Posada. Matsui next, and then Ruben Sierra for the Yankees.
Well, the crew chief of this group of umpires is Bruce Freeman, the 2nd base umpire in this game. He's the guy to make that decision.
He's out there getting wet like the fans. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball fooled him. Little check swing. Traxel really had to make sure on that because it's slick out there. But he made a good throw. 1 out.
See, Traxel's a good athlete. Second good play he's made off the mound tonight defensively. He got a slick track. Pretty good feet. And again, barehanded. And on to first base. Not exactly throwing out Jesse Owens, but well played by Traxel off the mound.
Traxel, Rookie of the Year in 1994 for the Cubs. Also made the All-Star team in 1996. Been around.
So is this guy, Matsui. Coming all the way from the Yomiuri Giants in Tokyo, where he never got rained on because he always played in the dome. Down low for a ball.
Hit a grand slam home run his first game in the American League. Pretty good start.
Well, he's only hit 6 home runs for the season, however. The Yankees anticipated a little more power than that, although Joe Torre said in spring training, he looked at him, he said probably 25 home runs. That's about what you would expect from Hideki Matsui. He's not quite on that pace.
The Japanese ballparks are much smaller than they are in the American National League.
They are smaller, and most of the Japanese teams that he played against would have one quality starter. But beyond that, the depth, very suspect. And those are the kind of pitchers, the 2 through 5 guys in rotation, people like Hideki Matsui just feasted on. That's in for a called strike. 3-2.
Sadaharu, the all-time home run leader. There's Roger Clemens right there. Congratulations, Roger, on number 300. Sadaharu was an all-time home run leader past Henry Aaron. Would have hit about 25 home runs a year. That's my guess if he played in the major leagues in the United States. And he was a good hitter and a pull hitter and strong. He was half Chinese and half Japanese.
Big guy.
And he was a big man, big upstairs, and he was a good hitter. And he knew how to pull the ball. He had a big high leg kick, left-hand hitter. He would have hit 300 as well.
It was interesting when they went over to play in Japan. Of course, he was the king over there with the home runs. Hit something like 800 home runs.
880 or 840, something like that. Yeah.
He had that live high leg kick, and that was done by Mel Ott. Mel Ott hit the same way, but he was the only one in the States that did that. But this guy did it, and a lot of people started to copy him. And you see players now today with that high leg kick.
Ruben Sierra not quite as high. Well, he's got a big, long swing, doesn't he? Long and trying to pull everything.
Sadaharu, in fact, used to stand in front of a mirror in his apartment in Tokyo with one leg in the air, with 1 foot in the air, suspended there. Do that for hours, working on his balance. That's how he hit.
Well, Ralph was talking about that before, about being in balance and being in sync, etc. I mean, you see players in the United States, they're using a big high leg kick. Joe McEwing's one of them. Sierra has the leg kick. And your point is exactly right. He could lift that leg, and weight would stay right on his back foot. He was in such perfect balance. Same term that Ralph was talking about. I mean, he was in great balance. All timing mechanism. If you watch Sierra, when he gets his leg up, he's already committed to going into the strike zone.
Well, the score here 2-0 the Yankees. Pretty good balance by Soriano and Jeter. Back-to-back in the 3rd inning. They each homered. Soriano has also had a home run stolen away by Shinjo on a great leaping catch at the right center field fence. Sierra 1 for 2 with a double. One went around the plate.
Ruben, a great story as you look at the on-deck batter Ventura. He was off to a great start in the major leagues, hit extremely well, and then went out of the major leagues and into the minors, and now has come back to the major league in a great comeback.
Well, as a switch hitter, a lot of home runs, 281. Batting from both sides of the plate. That is 6th all-time among switch hitters. So he's been a quality guy. Not always one of Joe Torre's favorites, however. Joe Torre tore him up pretty good in his book. In fact, took some hard shots at Ruben Sierra.
But if he can hit for Joe Torre, he'll like him a lot better.
Yeah, he is hitting. Started the night at 288, but for the Yankees, just had a great homestand. He hit 393. 2-2 now. Last 16 games, up over 400 for Sierra. Matsui on at first. Not much of a threat to go.
Matsui, no stolen bases. And in 10 years in the major leagues in Japan, he stole a total of 46 bases. This is a situation where you've got to concentrate on the hitter. Forget about the runner at first base. Just make sure he stops. If he goes, he's doing you a favor. Vance Wilson's going to gun him out. They're going to gun him out at second. Just leave him alone. Make sure he is not getting a walking lead. That's all you have to concern yourself about.
Sierra with a swing and a miss. He strikes out for the second out in the 6th. So Ventura will hit with a man on.
Third baseman.
And this looks like the splitter off speed. Whoa, beautiful movement right at the hitting zone. Sierra, the long swing, and right over the top. Anytime you get a hitter that starts to swing that early and got some movement on the ball late at the hitting zone, good chance you're going to get him out. Not much chance they can hit the ball on the sweet spot.
Robin Ventura with a double in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Right through the off-speed pitch for strike 1.
A bad pitch right there by Traxel. Got the ball, looked like it was up and in, and Robin Ventura was right in front of him. The ball got too far inside for him to handle. He was hoping to get the ball out over the plate.
See some of that now light rain again showing up on the cap of Steve Traxel. Not raining as hard as it was about 10 minutes ago. It's going to be like that all night, it would appear. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ventura. Traxel, incidentally, has yet to win at Shea Stadium this season. He's 0-3. An ERA of 6.67. So trying to get into the win column at home here tonight, but he's down 2-0.
So this situation right here, Vance Wilson should be going out there and say, forget the runner at first base. You're putting your defense to sleep. You got 2 outs. If he runs, I'll throw him out.
That's a ball.
Concentrate on the hitter. Now you got yourself behind Ventura, 2 balls and a strike. This is really just a factor of not knowing the speed of the runner. Will he run? And when you've got a gun line behind home plate like Vance Wilson, if he runs, you're doing you a favor. Well, Yankees will be doing you a favor.
One key is it really makes it tough to play defense behind him, no matter when he pitches. He's so slow.
And another 3-ball count. He's walked 3. Now 4 in the ball game after passing on Hideki Matsui. Two men out in the 3-1 pitch to Ventura. He's taking all the way, and it's ball 4. So he's walked another 1st and 2nd now. The hitter will be the dangerous Raul Mondesi.
Right fielder.
Mondesi was walked intentionally his first time up to get to the pitcher. Right now, because of the 2 walks, runners in position on the bases, 1st and 2nd. And Mondesi, the guy to get out. This Mondesi, pretty strong 8th batter in the batting order.
13 home runs for him. But he is in an 8 for 35 slide coming into this at bat. And again, Traxel very deliberate. Rattled to third. Wigginton will touch third base for the force that retires the side. And Andy Pettit is working on a shutout here. He has a 2-0 lead as we move on to the home half of the 6th. It'll be Jason Phillips, Vance Wilson, and Tsuyoshi Shinjo coming up to bat.
And he was put in the St. Louis Browns Hall of Fame. His name is Arthur Richard. He now works for the Yankees. He worked for the Mets as a traveling secretary and in the Hall of Fame. You know how I got in the Hall of Fame of the St. Louis Browns?
How did that happen?
He went to a ball game. He was the only guy in the stands.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a shot.
You are cold, Mr. Kiner.
He can't.
It may be the truth, but you're cold.
Ralph can be when he wants
absolutely.
to be. He can take the stiletto out.
It's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely. You got to be careful here.
But you better listen, though, too.
I know.
Beginning to learn that.
The one thing about the Browns, you know, they moved from St. Louis to Baltimore. And Bill Veeck was the owner of the Browns at one time. And he had to give the team up when they moved to Baltimore and sold to them. But the Browns, they're a team that finished last for many, many years. And they had a player that was the smallest guy that ever played in Major League Baseball, Eddie Goodell. 3 foot 6 inches tall. And that was one of the great promotions of all time. Eddie Goodell was a pinch hitter, and he walked on 4 pitches.
That was the last time.
That was it. One at bat, and he's in the record book.
Did they play the outfield in a little bit?
Yeah, and the catcher was on his knees giving this target. And Bill Veeck was in the stands, and he had told Eddie Goodell that if you swing at the ball, I have a 30-06 rifle, and I will shoot you dead.
Boy, and I thought Ralph could be tough. Yeah, that's tough. He didn't even have a full number, did he?
He had 1/8, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. Soriano moves to his right and will throw out Jason Phillips, who's 0 for 2 this evening. 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th. Vance Wilson up next.
The catcher, number 3, Vance Wilson.
So thus far, the back-to-back homers by Soriano and Jeter have held up. Those occurred in the 3rd inning. And if we missed the early fireworks, it was Jeremy Burnitz being tossed out in the 1st inning. And he says he didn't say anything to home plate umpire Ron Culpa. This was after Burnitz had gone inside the dugout. May have been a case of mistaken identity, or Culpa believing he heard Burnitz say something. In any event, he ran him. And after the argument, after Burnitz came out of the dugout, he said, I didn't say anything. What did I say? And Sean Kimmerling talked with Burnitz as Jeremy went down the tunnel after being thumbed, and Burnitz said, you know what, I didn't say a darn thing to him.
Somebody barking, and he presumed that it was Mr. Burnitz, evidently.
And he had called Burnitz out on a fastball that's called a strike.
On the night, Vance Wilson is grounded in 3rd and popped out to 2nd. Had a very good road trip. He had 333 on it with 8 runs batted in. As the Mets won 6 out of those 10 games. Good trip.
Now the reaction of Vance Wilson after that swing. He got a pitch that he wanted to drive. It looked like the right center. Had a pitch that he could hit. Watch him. Watch his reaction afterwards. Watch it. You go. Oh, I should have hit that ball up and out over the plate. Goes back to your point, Ralph, about how many pitches do you get in an evening against a pitcher like Pettit to hit?
Well, that was
1 or 2 the most.
Ted Williams always said that you better be ready because you get maybe 1 pitch to hit every at bat that you can handle. And of course, that might not be true for all hitters.
Mondesi moves back a bit, makes the catch on the run for the 2nd out. Shinjo about to hit now, but this defensive jam brought to you by your Honda dealers. Here's Shinjo rising at the fence to steal one from Soriano.
Home run earlier in the ball game for Soriano, and look at this. Home run number 2 out of the ballpark. Bring it back. Bring it back. Yes, I will. Bring it back. Shinjo does.
He looks at the ball and is probably thinking, look in the other hand, I got a gold watch in there. He looked at the ball like it did stay in the glove.
You know what I think it is, Ralph? There's not enough mustard in Shea Stadium to cover that guy. He does have some style.
He has that.
Those wrist spins. And it's great if you can play, if you can back it up, which he can. He's already threw out Ventura at 3rd base. He stole a home run from Posada. And there's not enough cheese around here to cover it. Not enough mustard, excuse me, to cover it. But I'm telling you, well, I like cheese on my hot dogs. But I mean, it's one of the great lines. You know, that gives another mustard in the big leagues to cover that hot dog, you know. But he can back it up. He can flat play center field, and he can flat throw.
Pettit trying to zip through the 6th in a 1-2-3 inning. 2-2. Do you really like cheese on your hot dog? I've never heard of that before.
I'm trying to get my way out of the mistake I made. Okay.
He does.
We don't have to be. We don't have to be bringing it up.
He likes it now.
I do now. Next time order. The first thing I'm going to have cheese, and then I'm going to have mustard.
Better be a slice of cheese on that puppy. I'll tell you that. 3-2 on Shinjo.
Slip that by you, huh?
I'm going to try it myself next time. Traxel has allowed 4 hits. He's on the losing end so far. Pettit has given up 5 hits. And he's the man with the 2-0 lead. Popped onto the screen. Shinjo will swing again. The weather's starting to loose up. On a night where weather has been something of a factor, at least in terms of the comfort level of all those here. The place is packed, of course, for the Subway Series. The players will be getting rained on steadily, sometimes heavy, but right now, virtually no rain. Here's the payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Foul tipped it into the mitt of Posada. And Pettit continues to hurl a shutout here at Shea Stadium tonight. It is 2-0 the Yankees. Column for the Mets and just 4 for the Yankees, but 2 of the Yankees got out of the park back-to-back by Soriano and Jeter in the 3rd. There's the pitch total on Traxel, 96 of them.
The Yankees haven't had a single in this ball game. 2 home runs, 2 doubles.
Andy Pettit is over 2. He's flying to left and grounded out. And then it's Soriano and Jeter. They've given Traxel the most difficulty tonight. The Yankees looking to go back to postseason play for the 9th consecutive year. Pettit with a pop-up. Reyes drifting out. In comes Shinjo, and Shinjo will make the catch, but basket style.
Pretty good defensive play right there by Shinjo, because Jose Reyes was being very aggressive on that. That's a good play right there by Shinjo. Outfielder is the quarterback here. It's one of the learning processes that a young guy that covers a lot of ground is going to have to learn. The outfielder coming into the ball, much easier play, and he is the quarterback on that play. And when you hear him, you clear the area. Get out of there.
Always reminds me with Ron Swoboda playing left field and Bud Harrelson playing short. Harrelson go back out there for those pop-ups, and I got it, but Ron never hurt him.
Plow right through it.
It was lethal, dangerous.
Soriano with a home run in the 3rd, robbed of a home run in the 5th. Breaking ball snapped off for a strike. 1-1.
A little knee buckler on that breaking ball right there. A real good one from Steve Traxel.
And he comes back with a fastball for a strike. 1-2.
Looking for a curveball again. He got a knee buckler on the first pitch. Real good curveball from Traxel. And I think Soriano looking for a breaking ball again. We're going to sit on it. Bill Stottlemyre talking to Andy Pettit.
Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. With the tag put on by Wilson to get him. And they're 2 away.
One thing, you can't hit a curveball that's down on the ground. That's one of the things you got to do. Keep from striking out.
The only guy who could probably do that would be Manny Sanguillo.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hit a bouncer.
I've seen guys hit bouncer balls.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter homered in the 3rd inning. He's gone 1 for 3. Now Leiter doing a little teaching here with Mike Bassett, perhaps. Jeter with a shot in the 3rd inning.
This ball is hit to right center field and just carries out of the ballpark. Shinjo making it look good.
His arms aren't long enough for that one, maybe.
Got to play your outfield higher now.
Jeter, the only player to appear in all 31 Mets-Yankees regular season games. He's a .341 hitter in these interleague affairs. In the Subway Series, the most hits, runs, steals, and errors of any player. Committed 6 errors in the interleague games. Count 2-1.
The fastball right by him upstairs. Straight as an arrow. And Jeter late on the swing.
Inside corner, good spot, 2-2. Physical look there.
A lot of hitters do this. They jump away as if, oh, that ball's really inside. That ball right there is 2.5 feet from him.
You almost never see a hitter jackknife like that and look at the umpire or the catcher's mitt. They're looking down on top of the plate.
Yeah.
So
In fact, they're doing this. Somebody did that the other day, and I've forgotten who it was. Exactly the same thing. It was Boone. Brett Boone, the Seattle series, doing exactly the same thing. Making a real violent jump away from that inside pitch, and the pitch maybe 2 inches from the plate.
Nobody on base, 2 out, the 3-2. Breaking ball, trickled toward Wigginton. Tough play, not in time.
Well, Wigginton had a little problem getting the ball out of his glove. Not much, but enough to give him a base hit. He had to go twice there.
Now that's a play. It's probably going to be scored a base hit. He never fully loses control, but one extra step gives a step and a half to Jeter at first base, and a good call by the first base umpire, Mike Winters. Right there as the foot comes down on the ground. So a 2-out single for Jeter.
So that keeps alive the 7th inning for Jason Giambi. Traxel hasn't pitched to him very much tonight. He's walked him twice, struck him out in the 5th. But Giambi has now reached base in 27 consecutive games. Ball 1. Giambi with superior eyesight. At the very top of tested major league hitters for eyesight, but he had that staph infection in both eyes that hampered him in the month of May. He is over that. He's locked in pretty good right now. .345 is batting average since May 21st with 10 homers. So he can see clearly now. Of course, the rain is gone, Tom.
How did you know?
Can see clearly now.
You can see clearly now.
You know? And my head snapped to the left and looked you eye to eye. You said.
Expected me to launch into a little song.
Would you like me to go into a couple reviews?
Oh,
You've heard my voice in the car.
And I think you're fantastic. You missed your calling.
You're lying to me again, right to my face.
Jeter on with 2 away. And hits the outside edge.
Now, what do you think is good eyesight? 2015?
2015 is supposed to be great, right?
Yeah.
2010.
Well, they say that Ted Williams could read the label of the 78 RPM record. And so could Mickey Mouse.
Now, wait.
Yeah,
do you know the keyword?
Neither one are true, huh?
Neither one. The keyword they say.
Yeah, they're not true.
I know. I'm saying that Ted Williams said that.
I don't know if he did.
I bet he did. You know Mr. Williams.
Well, he would say...
He'd never let the facts stand in the way of a good story.
That's right, and on top of that, he wouldn't let anything get by without an argument.
That's right. Oh, and now...
The 1-1 into the dirt and stopped by Wilson. They say Ted never lost an argument.
Never has.
It doesn't necessarily mean that he won them all. There were some ties, but he did. He never
Not in
lost.
this mind, there was no.
And always got in the last word, right?
Every time.
And could he hit and could he ever fish?
It's great at both. He said the hardest single thing to do in sports is hit a baseball. And I think a lot of guys would agree with it.
Yeah, even the guys who did it at Hall of Fame caliber like he did.
He was something else. If you were a good hitter and had done something and he hasn't known or talked to you, he would make a point of looking you up the first time he came to the ballpark and talk to you about your theories of hitting.
Did you go through that a few times with Ted?
First time I ever saw him, ever met him. 1948, we were playing Boston in the exhibition game in Pittsburgh. He came out, looked me up, said, "What do you think about hitting?" And we went on from there.
One thing about Ted, what he believed, he really believed. He was never going to be talked out of it by anybody. Jeter edging away, 2 out here, and the 2-2 to Giambi. The runner goes, and it's fouled away as Jeter was in motion.
Derek Jeter threw the entire at-bat up to 2 strikes, had no intention of stealing second base whatsoever. Joe Torre said no, but he can let him sit at first base. Now, as soon as the hitter at the plate, Jason Giambi, gets 2 strikes, then we'll run Derek Jeter at first. If he gets thrown out, fine. Then you get the at-bat from Giambi next inning. There's the 2 shortstops, New York shortstops right there. That's real good managing right there. Very good. You got 2 strikes in here. Finally, now we'll run it. Get in the scoring position. If he gets thrown out, fine. I got Giambi leading off next inning.
It's kind of a classy gesture there, too, by Derek Jeter. Not surprising, but a little tap there. Almost as if he's welcoming Jose Reyes to the club.
And the shortstop, absolutely. There's an instant, kinship there, no question about it.
Jeter saying yesterday, he said, "Yeah, I've definitely heard about him. I understand he can do a lot of wonderful things." He was looking forward to seeing Jose Reyes. Jeter takes off again on the inside corner for strike 3. No words from Giambi. But another called third strike from the home plate umpire, Ron Culpa. 1 man left. The Pepsi can or bottle will be admitted to the Pepsi picnic area for free. Enjoy the amazing action from the left field bleachers. How about a Pepsi and a donut, Tom Seaver? Our friends at Dunkin' Donuts, and they're pitching in for the Subway Series, and little donut art there for you as we give you a look at the Jeep game summary.
All the girls in the office upstairs before the game were enjoying those Dunkin' Donuts.
Jeremy Burnitz ejected in the first inning. Soriano and Jeter went back-to-back with home runs in inning number 3, and that has stood the test of time to this point. Alomar 2 for 3 at the plate for the Mets, who will now come up to bat with Jose Reyes leading off in the bottom of the 7th inning against Andy Pettit, who is pitching a gem so far.
And the Mets' Steve Traxel was going to be taken out of the ball game because the Mets were behind by 2. And he's pitched a very good ball game, but unfortunately the Mets are not being able to hit when men on base. They've had quite a few opportunities.
Reyes tonight 0 for 2 in his first game at Shea Stadium as a big leaguer here during the regular season. He has lined to center and struck out, so that batting average has dipped below 200. And Graham Lloyd, the lefty, joining David Weathers warming up in the Met pen. And the rain is starting to fall again. Not hard, but it's starting to drop. Hit hard, but in on the grass was Ventura anyway, and he snags it for the first out. He was guarding against the bunt. He was right where he had to be. So Jose Reyes 0 for 3. Jay Bell, as Ralph mentioned, is going to bat for Traxel in the number 9 spot. Jay at 196 without a home run.
Fine job done by Steve Traxel. Got a couple of great defensive plays behind him. Nonetheless, 5-hitter and 2 runs in the 7 innings. And it's run into a stone wall, and Andy Pettit working on a shutout here. The Yankees have 3 complete games so far this season. David Wells has all 3 of them.
That's across for a called strike. Pettit in interleague play is 10-6 lifetime. That's our Lincoln Mercury line on Steve Traxel. 114 pitches and another good outing for him back to back. Not quite as good as the complete game one hitter he tossed last Sunday at Anaheim.
After 3 starts ago, and the Mets went to the bullpen. Vern Rule, pitching coach, said, let's work on the mechanics. He said that we think we found something that we were doing wrong because he was really struggling for a couple of starts, about 4 starts in a row. And there were some things mechanically that he was doing incorrectly, going a little flat, sideways with his shoulders. Nonetheless, whatever it was, they figured it out. And he's pitched brilliantly the last couple of times out. Just a couple of home runs today.
Bell swings and misses for strike 3. 2 fast outs in the 7th.
Jay Bell, fastball right by him, Ron.
Yeah, 8 strikeout for Pettit. He's pitched a very strong ball game. Walked 2 in the first inning. Mets left 3 men on base. They've left a total of 7 on base in this game as Pettit works on a shutout.
Yeah, including Alomar twice. Robbie 2 for 3 with a double and a single.
Well, he's just gone over the 100-pitch mark. He finished the last inning with 96, so he's up to about 110 pitches is all. And of course, one of the strengths for the Yanks is that bullpen.
So once again, the Mets running up against a left-hander who is giving them fits. Although the Mets are 11-9. Against left-hand starters. It's pretty good. But hitting in the 220s against them for the year. Soriano throws out Roberto Alomar, and it's another 1-2-3. Went the first 7, allowing 5 hits, 2 runs.
Another good outing by Steve Traxel, as we talked about. David Weathers, a workhorse out of that bullpen. 1-4, 3.6 earned run average. This is his 37th appearance. David Weathers, a lot like an old NFL linebacker. Got that football mentality and kind of an old school pitcher. There's my good stuff. If you can hit it, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din.
And he
comes
never,
right at you.
Never wears long sleeves, no matter what it was.
He comes right at you. He doesn't fool around.
Well, here in the 8th inning, he gets Posada, Matsui, and Sierra. They have 1 hit between them tonight. Just 5 for the Yankees, 5 for the Mets in the hit column.
I got a couple people on the Yankees about their ball club that is not hitting. It seems like everybody seems to be trying to pull the ball, pulling off the ball, trying to think home runs. And one of the things this Yankee club this year do not seem to be doing is moving the men along and playing team baseball as far as advancing the runner, etc. The way we talked about when Seattle was in here, the way that they approach the game and try to go at it. Almost as if they have become home run hungry. Look at the Yankee bullpen, left-hander and right-hander.
Well, the Yankees may be having those offensive problems. And we've talked about the so-called feuding between Steinbrenner and Torrey, and yet they're in first place by a game over Boston coming into tonight. Foul tip to the catcher's mitt for a strike.
You have to have a team like the Mets have. I mean, the Yankees have, as far as veteran players. I think Joe Torre, when he was talking about it, said either fire me or leave me alone. He gave, seemed to me, George Steinbrenner ammunition to fire him. Said one or the other. This middle of the road stuff ain't getting them. One of the things about this team and the success that Torre has had,
The center fielder
with his ball club, it would have to be a veteran team in New York City with all the stuff that goes wrong around the ball club. You've got to have, but you couldn't have a young club over there with all the commotion that comes down from upstairs. And I talked to a couple of veteran players in the club, and they said, you can run. You got 10, 12, 14 years under your belt. You've been through it all. It doesn't make any difference. But I'm telling you, if you had a young club, I'm talking about Jose Reyes, if you had a top of the lineup to the bottom of the lineup club like that, I don't know if they can handle it.
I would say you're right. And the one thing about young players, if you're being criticized by the guy that's paying your salary, that hurts if you're young. When you're old, you say, well, so what? I've done my job. Look at my stats. And it's just the way he is.
David Weathers has fallen behind 2-0 on Matsui after walking Posada. Nobody out here in the 8th. I wonder what Hideki Matsui thinks about all this.
He doesn't understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I wonder about. Ground ball up the middle. He spanks a single with the runner on the move. Posada rounding second. He's into third. So he was on the go, and there are Yankees on the corners with nobody out.
And somebody fell asleep.
Joe Torre putting a hit and run on with Posada going and Matsui trying to hit the ball right up the middle. That's really a sneaky play and a veteran manager's play. 2 balls and no strikes. Catcher just gone out. Remember Joe Torre, a fine catcher when he played in the major leagues. Out to the catcher, went out to the pitcher. Forgot about the runner at first base and the possibility of hit and run.
Art Howe has made the call to the bullpen. Weathers faces 2. They both reach. Lloyd will be coming on to face Sierra when we come back. Eight-handed now. Graham Lloyd appearing in his 23rd game and a nifty 2.28 ERA.
Big tall left-hander has pitched well of late. 23 innings pitched, just 20 hits. And they'll turn Sierra around, who has only 2 at-bats from the right side while being with the Yankees.
Runners on at first and third. Posada and Matsui. The Yankees trying to add on to a 2-0 lead in the top of inning number 8. In tight. And even David Weathers, who never complains to umpires, and I wouldn't call this a complaint, but as he walked off the mound after having been lifted by Art Howe, he was asking the home plate umpire Ron Culpa about a pitch to Posada that was not called a strike. Hit hard, and that's a fair ball just inside third. Posada scores. Matsui into third. It's a run-scoring double for Ruben Sierra. 3-0, the Yankees lead it.
Woodward a fastball, he didn't get in. And Ruben Sierra got it just inside the third base bag. Down to the corner down there. Cliff Lloyd chasing it down. A 2-base hit for Sierra, and the Yankees have run in and been on second and third.
Well, the Mets have the option of walking the batter and pitching to Mandesi, a right-hand batter, but they're going to go lefty against the left-hand batter.
Charles Gibson, by the way, is running now at second base for Sierra. And the infield in for the Mets. Fouled off by Ventura. Go back to David Weathers chatting with home plate ump Ron Culpa as he left. Not barking at him.
No, he said, I think he said, was that ball inside? He wanted to know for himself. I don't think there was any questioning. He wanted to know for his own personal use. That ball inside. He didn't want it to be inside, but it said he must have been.
Line foul by Ventura.
You see the little shake on his head afterwards. That ball inside, and he said,
yep.
The umpire had to say yes, and he said, kind of a wish list thing. You wanted it on the plate, but knew in your heart it was outside or inside, one of the two.
So Gibson there at second base. Matsui in third. Nobody out. One drifts off the plate. So the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ventura with a 4th inning double. And he also drew a walk in the 6th. He's 1 for 2. Robin had a terrific year for the Mets in 1999. Hit .301 with 32 homers, 120 RBIs, and won his 6th Gold Glove.
That was a great infield that the Mets had. Ordonez at short, Ventura at third base, Alfonso at second base, and Nolarud at first.
He checked his swing, fouled it off, just trying to get out of the way, but it made contact.
Well, he's lucky here right now as he looks breaking ball, gets jammed with the fastball, and the ball hits the bat. And that's unlucky, but he could have been hurt there.
Well, another run for Andy Pettitte. 3-0. The Yankees lead. That one right over the top of his head. That slipped by Lloyd.
Well, this is a curveball and certainly not a knockdown pitch. Lloyd having trouble with his control, which is usually impeccable.
I think I saw the other day one of the highlight films, one of the umpires threw a pitcher out because he hit somebody with a breaking ball.
Can you believe that?
Did you see that? It was unbelievable.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Robin Ventura fans. One down.
Breaking ball here. Perfect location down the way out of the strike zone. Left-hander against left-hander. And Graham Lloyd trying to leave him right there.
It says good curve there in the strengths category.
The computer got that one right.
Mondesi will be walked intentionally. This will load up the bases with Andy Pettitte scheduled to hit next. Obviously, he's not going to in a situation like this. He is done for the night. Sierra giving him congrats. So Mondesi to accept his second intentional pass. And there's ball 4. So it'll be Bubba Trammell to come up and swing.
Bubba, a former New York Met player.
And in fact, only 8 players from the Mets 2000 World Series team are active for this series. 3 of them are Yankees. Robin Ventura, Todd Zeile, and now Bubba Trammell gets into the game. Base is jammed here. Here's the at-bat of the night, perhaps, if the Mets are going to have any chance of winning this one. Lloyd has to keep them down here. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Yankees. No runs, 5 hits for the Mets.
Mets are playing the infield back for the double play. That's what the Mets are hoping for right now.
Big foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. About those 8 players from the 2000 New York Mets, the World Series team, were active for this series.
Todd Zeile and the Robin Ventura, Bubba Trammell, Yankees. Now, Zeile, the all-time leader in home runs for players that's last name starts with a Z. He went by Gus Zernial the other day.
Went right by him.
Right by Gus.
A nation held its breath, and he went right by him.
Gus Zernial, Ozark Ike was his nickname, and he was big and strong. Lives in Fresno, California.
That he does.
Right there with all those raisin pickers.
Knew that was coming.
Lloyd in a jam here. Foul. Hit hard. In the direction of Ruben Sierra's double that drove in a run in this inning. Blading Posada. And the ultra dangerous Alfonso Soriano waits.
Well, when you get a walk and a single, and then you get a double, run in minutes 2nd and 1st, I mean 3rd and 2nd, and only 1 out. If you can get out of it, you could get a double play right here from Trammell. Graham Lloyd is thinking about double play or strikeout, one of the 2.
2-2 pitch. All filled up now. Trammell coming in just as a .216 hitter without a home run. He has 4 runs batted in. Ruben Sierra contributing tonight with 2 hits, a couple of doubles. He has left the game for a pinch runner. And runners everywhere that Lloyd looks. Here comes the 3-2 once again. Again, just a piece of it by Bubba Trammell. Here's the payoff pitch. Popped up, and Phillips has plenty of room over there with the infield fly. In effect, he makes the catch. That's the second out.
The Mets will take it. That's a great battle right there between Lloyd and Bubba Trammell. Lloyd wins the battle of windblowing that ball back toward fair territory. First base umpire Mike Winters calling the out on the infield fly if the ball is in fair territory.
Now Soriano 1 for 4 with a solo home run in the third. However, denied what would have been a second home run in the fifth as Shinjo took it back from over the fence. Inside ball one. Sierra talking hitting over there as if he invented it. He's a hot bat right now. Slicer foul, 1-1 on Soriano. Jeter would be the next man in. Top of the order has done good work for the Yankees tonight. Both Soriano and Jeter with home runs. Jeter's added a single. Two balls, one strike.
Soriano has hit an off-speed pitch down out for a home run. The ball to right center that Tsuyoshi Shinjo brought back took away a home run from him. It was a fastball up and out over the plate. He's pulled the off-speed stuff, gone to right field with the hard stuff.
2-2.
Soriano thought that pitch was low. I would go along with him.
Home plate umpire Ron Culpus had a tough night. The Mets fans on their feet. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Only one run scores, and the Yankees leave them loaded in the eighth. Not this time for Soriano. 3-0 the Yankees.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium. Yankees leading the Mets 3-0 eighth inning. Tom Glavine gets the start for the Mets tomorrow night. Glavine coming off that strong performance in Florida this week after missing a start with a sore pitching elbow. Says the elbow is coming along okay. It's not perfect, but it is progressively getting better. He says one thing he's doing differently is he only is throwing one time between starts now as opposed to his usual twice. He's going to experiment with that, see how it goes, but he gets the start for the Mets tomorrow against Mike Mussina and the Yankees. Guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, John, thank you very much. As the Mets come up to bat here in the home half of the eighth inning, it'll be Ty Wigginton to start it. So good news on Tommy Glavine. And he says that on occasion he'll feel something inside that elbow because of that bone spur. When he lets go of a real good changeup. He said a real good one or a real bad one?
You always feel it on the bad ones. Yeah. He pitched a beauty the other day, didn't he?
Oh, sure did.
Beautiful game.
Nice to see him back in the rotation. And Wigginton looks for his second hit. He doubled in the fifth inning, so Ty on the night is 1 for 3. Chris Hammond on in relief of Andy Pettit. Pettit stands to get the win at this point, 3-0 the Yankees. But Graham Lloyd just doing a dynamite job pitching out of trouble.
That's a great looking pitch right there. Absolutely spectacular pitch. You've got a fastball hitter at the plate. Matsui directing his outfield.
A little low.
That's a great pitch.
And a little softer from him. He goes soft. Softer and softer.
That's the pitch right there that should teach Michael Bassett right there, a screwball. You say one or two of them in the big leagues at all, and that's a terrific screwball. The hand goes inside. Great arm speed. A little away movement from the right-hand hitter. You look at it again. This ball directly right down the middle of the plate, middle in, way out in front. Wigginton, a young player, dead fastball hitter. He's learned to hit the breaking ball. That process of learning it.
2-2, swing and a miss. He struck him out.
I'm going to go back and say, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Look at it again. Another screwball. Great movement, off speed. See how off balance he is, way out in front. Can't believe he can be able to get that slow.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Sterling Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling Mets. One away, here's McEwing. Joe tonight not in the original starting lineup, but after Jeremy Burnitz was booted by home plate umpire Ron Culpa, at least we think that's who Culpa tossed out of the game. He was screaming at someone named Jimmy in the Met dugout. There's nobody in there named Jimmy. He said, "I see you, Jimmy. I see you." Burnitz, he told our Sean Kimmerling that he didn't say anything. And we could read Jeremy's lips when he came out to argue after he had been tossed. He said, "What did I say?" Jeter flips on to first, and plenty of time to get McEwing, who is 0 for 3. LaFloyd on the way up to hit. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a single in the third.
Well, the whole point is that is a huge factor in this ball game. We got Burnitz who's sitting over 300 against left-handers. He comes up in the 5th inning where McEwing bounced out to third base after he had a single by Alomar, a double by Wigginton. Second and third, 1 out. And the Mets couldn't get a run across. Taking out your number 3 hitter in your ball club in the first inning.
So you go to an inning like the 5th when the Mets had 2 men on and 2 men in scoring position.
In the 5th.
With Burnitz's position set to come up.
That was his spot. He would have hit there. That's exactly right.
And how important that might have been. Jeremy Burnitz with 23 RBIs in 24 games since coming off the DL as Rivera starts to loosen up in the Yankee bullpen. 0-2 on Floyd. Now Cliff Floyd walked in the first inning. It was right after Burnitz had been called out on a 3rd strike looking, which touched off that argument with the home plate umpire Ron Culpa. Argument with somebody in the Met dugout. And Floyd thought he had been the one tossed initially by Culpa as the umpire turned around and started screaming. Here's a look at it again.
I see it, Jimmy. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Foul off hard to the right by Floyd. So he was screaming at Jimmy, and Jeremy got the thumb.
I wonder if Jimmy has any guilt feelings tonight over there.
I think every guy named Jimmy in the city of New York is
Jimmy's
like,
going, I'm going to go change my name.
I'll lay low here for a week.
My name's Jimmy Ronald. I go by the name Ronald from now on. You can call me Ron if you want. No more Jimmy for me, baby.
2 out and nobody on base here for the Mets. We are in the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-0. The Yankees in front. And Floyd with a gentle pop up on the infield. Giambi covers it. 1, 2, 3. So that's 11 consecutive New York Mets that have been set down, and no Jimmy tonight. O'Brien and Ralph Kiner with you here from Shea, and there's the new pitcher, Armando Benitez. Weathers, Lloyd, and Traxel have worked in this one. New left fielder as well. And Timo Perez taking over for Cliff Floyd out there. And it is on to the 9th inning. The big right-hander to work to Derek Jeter to start this frame. 3-0 the Yankees in front.
Got to get an inning pitch for your closer. Don't go too long without throwing. On a schedule to throw X amount over the course of a year. There's 2 in the business here in the ballpark today. A lot of people think that's the best right there. And Rivera, along with Schmaltz and Eric Gagne. Who are you going to take, Schmaltz or Gagne or Mariano Rivera?
You know how I think it works right now? Schmaltz coughed one up yesterday, so I'm going with Gagne. And if Gagne coughs one up tonight, I'll go back down to Schmaltz or Rivera. That's the way it'll work. Front runner all the way.
That you do it, right?
Yep. Me and Jimmy. Jeter has 2 hits tonight, a homer and a single. He's gone 2 for 4.
Well, the Mets up against a very good left-hand pitcher tonight in Andy Pettitte. He was spectacular. We got some outs that he needed to get to be able to pitch 7 innings and give up no runs. We'll talk about there's 3 or 4 or 5 outs in a ball game. You can point to him and say, listen, this is an out. Got to have it right here. And that's exactly what he did here tonight.
And
his numbers weren't terrific coming in when you looked at them.
No, they weren't. A 5.09 ERA.
5.09 ERA. You're talking about 81 innings pitched. He'd given up 93 hits. That's a big ratio right there. Perfect pitch right there by Benitez on the outside part of the plate. Giving up 10 home runs. Here's a big league fastball right here, sports fans. That's what you put that in the unhittable category right there. Even Ted Williams might have trouble with that.
And 93 on the corner. Fouled off by Jeter. Look now at our Lexus Interleague scoreboard. They didn't get it in Philly. They got rained out with the Red Sox. But you look at these games that have a lot of significance in a region or even a country. Toronto taking on Montreal. Tampa Bay and Florida, a good one there. Also Cleveland, Pittsburgh, which is a big series for that part of the country. Right back off Benitez. He kicks it. And Jeter is going to be safe at first. That struck the leg of Armando Benitez and rolled into no man's land.
Armando Benitez a little off balance when he finishes his delivery. Not in a real good fielding position. All his weight on his left leg. He tried to get the right leg down so he could get his body and glove back to the ball. Not hit that hard by Derek Jeter. It looked like he may have hit him right above the ankle. Much flesh there.
First baseman.
Well, you got the same situation the last time these two individuals were up with the Yankees with Jeter on first and Giambi at the plate. Different out situation. But now what do? You're up by 3-0. If you're Joe Torre, do you run Jeter? And again, I think one of the things that Joe Torre is going to do for Giambi, knowing he's a good fastball hitter, he's going to give him that leeway up to 2 strikes.
Oh, Jeter's taken off immediately, and it's dropped by Wilson at home plate. So it's stolen base.
Going on the first pitch. And fooled me. I don't know whether they would open first base for Giambi like that. He's certainly got a good pitch to run on right there. That ball is really in the dirt. Vance Wilson could not come up with it.
Well, indeed, it does open first base. But 4 steals now for Jeter. They'll go ahead and continue to pitch to Giambi. He's been walked twice. He's also struck out twice.
Between the devil and deep blue sea, when you got Posada in the on-deck circle, that ball's out of the strike zone. And Giambi, pull hitter. He has great power to left center field. He really has a pull swing right now, but he's trying to get the runner to third base, obviously. But he's just trying to stay away, not give him something that he can pull.
And as you can see there, Wigginton is the only fielder left on the left side of second base. A big shift for Giambi. 2-1. Lets it through for a strike.
Yeah, that's a pitch right there. And that's another. Some of the people around the Yankees say that they're not moving the runners along. Now you're in a 3-0 ball game. You got a runner at second base. You have a huge hole at shortstop. I mean, they're giving you that side. There's a perfect pitch down and away. Just to run a ground ball through the shortstop. Right, look at this. Look at this area. This is all area you can hit the ball in there. Well, that's one thing the Yankees are not doing this year.
He pulls this one high and deep to right field, and that ball is gone. A home run for Jason Giambi. Not a thought in his head about moving that man over. He was thinking about moving both of them in. His 19th home run of the year. And that's a put-away blow. The Yankees lead it 5-0.
Jason Giambi, 19th home run. A real good fastball hitter. And a no-doubter down that right field line.
So Posada, the batter, he takes strike one.
Take a look at it again. Giambi tried to pull that ball, certainly go out and get it. And he turned that fastball right around, kept it inside that foul pole down the right field line.
Hit wickedly but foul by Posada.
Yeah, the question for Armando is it going to be fair or foul? That's all he wanted to know.
Third home run of the night for the Yankees. They're starting to catch up to those Atlanta Braves who lead the majors in home runs. The Yankees were second coming into tonight.
They're first in the American League now. There was an old game that pitchers used to play here during batting practice at Shea Stadium. The New York Mets, they call it Yankee ball. If you had a home run in your last at bat during batting practice, they call it Yankee ball. You get an extra swing. That's in honor of Ruth and Mantle and the rest of them. Jason Giambi got it right there.
High chop but foul. In fact, the Yankees ought to have 4 home runs tonight, if not for the leaping heroics of Shinjo in center field to steal one from Soriano. And Mariano Rivera can relax now. 5-0 in the ninth. Dan Wheeler, who was very impressive the other night with 3 terrific innings out of the bullpen, starts to get ready. Just in case, here comes the 3-2 pitch. Nobody out here, and that's ball 4. So Posada walks for the second time.
The left fielder.
And by the way, the 8th walk issued by the Mets in this game.
Burton Roll on the way to the mound, and I think the term you used before, David, is that's what he's seen in Armando Benitez rules. And that was a game closer right there, the home run. And not much pizzazz in that approach after Jose Posada. I think is what Burton Rule was doing out there to get him back on track and try to get some hitters out.
Well, immediately after the game, find out why WB11's News at 10 is the Emmy winner for Best Single Newscast, the 2nd year in a row. Join the team that brings you New York's news tonight, right after the game on WB11. Barry Murphy, Jim Watkins coming your way as soon as we finish up here at Shea. And Giambi's big blast to right did a lot to finish this one up, period. A strike to Matsui. 1 for 3 with a base hit. 19 home runs now for Giambi. His eyes are just fine after struggling through most of the month of May because of that staph infection in both eyes. They scraped his eyelid, and that cleared it up, or helped clear it up. But
did he get mad at the doctor?
Oh boy, it does not sound like a walk in the park.
Was down in the field before the game during batting practice. Somebody said, was it the bigger series for the Yankees or bigger series for the Mets? I say it's probably, to me, it's 50-50. The Mets have been playing very well. They did well in the road trip, 6-4.
Bounty ball toward the hole. Alomar will shovel it over there to first base. In time to get him. Matsui retired, but Posada second.
And they went out there and they beat the Angels in that series. They a group of young players in the ball club that are starting to feel good about themselves and get themselves some confidence. I think that's the thing that the Mets are trying to feed off of. The victory is going to build the self-confidence in the guys like Reyes and Wilson and the rest of the young players that are playing now. The other side of the coin, obviously the Yankees playing for division, and you've got a manager and an owner that are barking at each other, etc., diversions, etc. But you have a veteran team. So for different reasons, this series is important. You can talk about bragging rights and all that other stuff. Clubs have their own individual reasons. Ty Wigginton trying to go through the process of learning. Yes, I can play in the big leagues. We can play in the big leagues against one of the best teams around.
You're measuring stick. Yeah.
That's right. And they've done it. They did it. They did it against the Angels. Okay, they're world champions last year. They're not playing world championship caliber this year. Yeah, in the American League West. But they're in a real good division.
And still a darn good baseball.
Absolutely.
They brought their entire everyday lineup back, same pitching staff. Talking about Anaheim. And of course, the Mets went to South Florida, where Cliff Floyd used to earn a paycheck, and split that series with the Marlins. They ran into Dontrell Willis, that left-hander, who they are raving about there, and he was just about unhittable and one hitter against the Mets.
A couple people say he's the real deal too, huh?
A lot of people down in Florida believe that's the case. Their television ratings the nights he has pitched so far this year, have gone through the roof. The highest they've been in like 5 years. On the infield, but not hit hard. Alomar on to first base, 2 away. Posada to third. But over and above that, what he's doing to major league hitters in his rookie years, it's amazing that the Cubs did give him up if he is in fact that talented, and he looks like he is. He's all knees and elbows, and he hides the ball. He's got a big kick. He reminds me a little of Vita Blue. Other people look like Fernando.
Setting on that back leg and big high leg kick.
He's something to watch. Here's Ventura. Outside ball 1.
You and I have talked about it, but a lot of organizations now don't like all that extra movement. I think there's too many things that can go wrong. Many parts that can fall apart. I totally disagree. And all this antiseptic kind of delivery that people have these days, nothing can go right. Because you don't have time, enough rhythm and tempo to get there.
Do you look at a pitcher's delivery the way most people look at hitters' batting stances and swings? They're unique. Don't mess with them if it's working.
It's like Kevin Napier said, I'm peeking over here, and you want to know if the Mets are going to change my delivery. Absolutely not.
Wigginton moves to his left, plucks it. Kind of a wild throw, but he held the bag. Phillips holding first base with that right foot. The side is retired, but Giambi with a big 2-run homer to right field has made it 5-0 the Yankees. Well, this sums it up. A look at our Lexus line score. The Yankees head 5-0 as the Mets come to bat for the final time tonight, unless they can rally and tie it and send us to extra innings. Tom is rooting for that. Right-hander Jason Anderson made an appearance against Tampa Bay this week in 15 innings. He's allowed 16 hits and 10 walks, so a lot of base runners against him.
One of the great chimes in the dugout of Major League Baseball. Come on, boys, we're going to get paid for overtime. Let's finish it up right now.
Well, it would start with Jason Phillips. He is 0 for 2. And then Vance Wilson, and then Shinjo scheduled to hit. The last 11 Mets have been set down consecutively by the combination of Pettit and the bullpen.
They were cramming for an exam there, weren't they?
Yeah, maybe cramming for tomorrow's exam.
Late to be doing your homework, you know what I mean?
A little.
Get that paperwork done early.
No, I got through school.
Doing it late?
No, yeah, night before it's fun. Hour before exam time. Things to do. I don't recommend that to all our young scholars at home. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Phillips. Mike Mussina, Tom Glavine tomorrow. Giambi can't reach it, and it's a base hit for Jason Phillips, his first hit of the night. And that's how the bottom of the ninth begins against Mr. Anderson. Now, you look at Joe Torre's face, and we've been looking at it all night long. You can't tell if they're down 5-0 or if they're ahead 5-0. You can't tell if someone just hit a grand slam or lined into a triple play. You have no idea by his count.
He's always been that way. He was that way as a player as well.
He was?
Yeah. Very well liked amongst his peers. Real classy guy.
strike to Vance Wilson. He's looking for his first hit, 0 for 3.
I went to Atlanta, pitched my first game against the Atlanta Braves. I gave up a home run to Henry Aaron, to Joe Torre, and Dennis Menke, and lost 4 to 3. I was a rookie. I'm 22 years old, out of the University of Southern California. He called me after the game.
Joe Torre?
Joe Torre. Said, you pitched a heck of a game, kid. Stick with it. You'll be all right.
He called you?
He's opposition. He's an opponent. Called me in the home clubhouse. The kid came out and said, and I never forgot this was 35 years ago.
Well, back-to-back singles as Wilson knocks one through the shortstop hole. 2 Mets are on here tonight.
Well, the Mets finding somebody that they can get to here. And how big is that 2-run home run on the top of the ninth by Giambi? Are now looking for a miracle. Vance Wilson just rolled those hands over and pulled that ball in the hole between Ventura and Jeter. And it'll be Tony Clark, more base runner. Something might happen.
For the second time, Rivera, you thought that he wasn't going to have to work tonight after the home run by Giambi. The second time he gets up.
It was almost a luxury. You get the 2-run home run by Giambi, and then Torrey says, "Great, well, I don't have to use Rivera. Give him an off night. We're right back here tomorrow. Go get him tomorrow, etc." That was not going to fiddle around either.
Makes the call right now.
You just count the outs, and you know how many people in that dugout, how many steps are away from a tie ball game. That's exactly what you're thinking about. And it's to put an end to it early rather than too late.
Pitching change with Tony Clark about to swing. We'll be back. Mariano Rivera called on to work here in the 9th inning. Nobody out, and the Mets have runners at first and second after base hits by Phillips and Wilson. Tony Clark will be brought on as a pinch hitter against Rivera. You see 19 strikeouts in 20 in the 3rd innings, Tom.
Well, people call him one of the best in the business. This is a money shot right here. Couldn't pass it up, could I? It's so trite, I can't believe it. But what else are you going to do?
Let's see if Tony Clark earns his paycheck tonight.
By George, I hope he does.
Here's the first pitch. You know,
you know why? Because I'll be Washington.
You and I could go on all night. We won't, but we could for probably another hour. Reyes waits on deck.
Tony's wife Martha would be looking too. He drives a nice red Potomac.
You've been up too late. Pop foul, back out of play by Clark, and he's right at 200, but with 8 homers. And this is a spot he appears to be more comfortable in, as opposed to the everyday role at first base he played for a while and saw his batting average drop. However, he's behind 0-2 on Rivera. Then you know what you're going to get from Mariano Rivera. You know you're going to get fastballs. They're not going to be straight. That's on the corner, strike 3. So 1 away in the Met 9th.
On that outside corner, and Tony Clark was going to argue, said, no, I better not. Rivera, 6'2", 185 from Panama, one of the great arms in baseball, and he has had a terrific career so far, and it's not nearly over.
Reyes hitting from the left side. He's batting 190 with a homer and 11 RBIs. Timo would be next in. Boy, from this side of the play, you got to believe he's near impossible to double up. That one hit on a broken bat. Soriano feeding Jeter for the force play. No throw to first. Phillips down to 3rd, but now there are 2 out.
Second bat tonight that Reyes is broken. It is shattered. You can see Vance Wilson delaying a little bit, going a little bit after Derek Jeter at shortstop. Pretty aggressive play by Soriano. They want to make sure they get the 1 out at second. And that way they maintain the out at second base on a force with Reyes at first base.
Timo hitting .266 with 1 homer, 14 driven in. First and third occupied, 2 away, bottom of the ninth, 5-0 the Yankees. They got 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Back-to-back home runs by Alfonso Soriano and Derek Jeter. Scored another run in the 8th and 2 more on another home run. This one by Giambi in the top of this inning. Quickly 0-2.
0-2 and 2 pretty good swings by Timo Perez. You sit there all night. It's been a beautiful night at Shea Stadium. Manager walks up and says, Timo, look at a bat. You're at 266 and you're facing Mariano. We need a double.
Little jam shot to Ventura, and that's it. The Yankees put this one away 5-0. Pettit gets the win, and despite a very good outing by Steve Traxel, he suffers the loss. And a look at our GM turning point.
Well, a good ball game by Traxel, but the GM turning point, Mario Soriano, the second baseman for the Yankees in the 2nd inning. And an off-speed pitch, home run to left field, and Derek Jeter, high fastball. Home run to right center. Back-to-back home runs in the 3rd inning. And that was just about it for the Yankees.
So that's it. 5-0 your final score. The Yankees taking Game 1 of the Subway Series. The WB News at 11 is next with Jim Watkins and Mary Murphy. Good night, everybody, from Shea Stadium.